We absolutely crushed. We absolutely crushed UFC Paris. Our community made well over $100-something thousand in winning bets and DraftKings, and we are going to parlay all of that success to UFC 293. My name is Angelo. This is the kid I do the show with, and me and him are going to break down this entire fight card, give you our picks, our predictions, our bets, and our DraftKings plays. But before I do, let's look at, can you shut? I can hear myself through your shit. Thank you. Let's talk about UFC Paris, the wild success. I'm up units. Jacob is up units. We, again, had the best DraftKings ownership projections in the game, and the safety parlay crushed a plus money two-leg safety parlay. Not a very common thing.
And we're gonna count the lock. I think we should count the lock of the week. Do you agree? I mean, that fight should have been stopped in the second round. We would have hit all sorts of crazy bets. I think we're going to count it as a win. I think we've made that decision.
We're not doing that. The safety parlay, the last 10 safety parlays, we have gone 8 for 10. So 8 wins, 2 losses. The last 10 events, the net profit over the last 10 is 7 units. That means it's hitting at an 80% rate, and it's almost a full unit of net profit per event. The safety parlay is available to all our premium members. It is only $10 a month, and our premium members have been killing it. $133,000 in shared winnings from the premium members at UFC Paris, all of them with context. ND, Angelo Safety Parlay, and the Hammer were on the same page this week. My one, not yours, up 2,500 the last 3 weeks, mainly because I watch your analyst videos on YouTube. I talk a lot in Discord, but much love, guys. Premium is worth it. Be nasty. Be nasty with the $51,000 DraftKings takedown. Pay attention. He said, I really can't believe they even allow you guys to offer these tools. I literally did my lineups this morning. I picked 3 people. The optimizer, which is available on premium in that $10, did the rest. That guy took home well over $50,000. That's just the one lineup. Octagon Observer, first card is premium. Thanks for all the hard work. We up. Drewski, Angelo Jacob, I owe $1,500 to you. Thanks for everything. This is why we're premium. Prominent Talent.
I haven't seen.
Yeah, we're waiting. It's coming.
No, I was going to say I haven't seen that money come through from Drewski. Oh, he said I owe this to you. I thought he said he owes this to us, meaning like he owes us that money. I was like, Drewski, I haven't seen that money come through.
I'm just, here's my Venmos. Prominent Talent, MFers. I'm making money. Yes, even if it's only $200 profit, that's 20 months premium. And that's actually one of my favorite ones because, yeah, it's easy to show $3,000, $10,000, $50,000, these massive tickets. What? What?
Uh-oh.
Why are you saying uh-oh?
You'll see, I hope.
Okay, because $100 here, $100 there, that is all great money. Premium members, absolutely killing it. You can join them. It's only $10 a month to be a part of that elite crew of 2,800 or whatever it is people now. You're going to get the best DraftKings ownership projections in the game, and you're going to say, what the hell are DraftKings owner projections? Why do I care about that? Great. You're a premium member. Click more on the menu, then courses, and we got a whole course walking through what that is, why it matters, and how to use it. You're going to get the line movement tracker. This is a tool on our website. It's fully interactive. It's going to give you the opening odds, the current odds, the win probability, and the line movement for every fighter on every card. This week, only one fighter open as a dog and will close as a favorite. You're also going to get the DraftKings Optimizer. This is what was shouted out before. This is what made that $50,000 winning lineup. You click a few buttons, it literally builds DraftKings fantasy lineups for you. The most important part about the Optimizer is the data inside of it. And we literally have the best data on the planet. You're going to get the detailed data, metrics, and analytics. This is available to you to sort through, to sift through, to find your spots, to identify what lines you like, what you don't like. You're also going to get the ability, actually anybody can mail us stuff, but we had a P.O. box. People always talking about mailing us things. I don't know. I'm assuming there's stuff in there now. We got a bunch of stuff and some tracking numbers. I'll go grab that before the Fight Foods vlog. We'll open them up on camera, see what we got. But guys, premium membership, $10 a month. Just go to wewantpicks.com. It's more than just me Handsome Jake, Artem, who you see. We have now included...
Not Handsome Artem.
Just Artem, a regular Artem, international.
We need
Artem.
an update, Artem, in the Discord. We need an update on that mullet. That's what we need.
How's it growing? And then we have Running Mouth MMA. We have added them into the fold. Running Mouth MMA, great show, great guys, put out a great product. If you sign up with their promo code, they will get paid. And finally, last but not least, I will send you $50. $50. All you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners using our link, and I'll send you $50 as a thank you. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Use the link. They're going to pay me. It's affiliate marketing. Then I'll break off some of that money, and I will give it right back to you. We're not going to break this card down yet. I did see we got a monster super chat. $100 from Brian.
Oh, my God. They're flying in now.
$100 from Brian. No comment to pin, but I would love to. Thank you so much for that, Brian. Genuinely appreciated. $49.99 from Andres Alera. Andres Drewski. Here's your money, Jake. Here's some of the money, guys. Everyone, if you're not a premium member, become one today.
It's that easy, huh?
Yeah.
It's that easy. Holy shit. Let me run through this list of names here in the chat. Hey, Ryan Godwin. We haven't seen our money come through yet. Hey, Ignacio. We haven't seen if it's that easy. I appreciate it.
Andres says, if you're not a premium member, become one today and join us for the winnings and fun. Jacob and Angela, I thank you for making me a better researcher and nothing but love. Hashtag We On Picks. Andres, thank you for the 50 spot. Genuinely appreciated. Jakey, I'm going to put you in an uncomfortable position. Are you ready?
Yeah. Can I say something for the breakdown? Or
you say something while I deal with, I hear a child crying in the background. You say something while I deal with that bullshit.
Oh, no, I'm not ready for this. This is not my moment. Oh, my God. What is going on, guys? Welcome to the motherfucking show now. The Freckled Salamander. He didn't introduce me, but my name is Jacob, a.k.a. the motherfucking sexy salamander. If you want to go full, onlyfans.com/the Freckled Salamander. There you will find original content, feet pics, chocolate sauce, syrup. We do it all on onlyfans.com/the Freckled Salamander. But I'm here right now to tell you, first of all, I appreciate all the love and support, man. You guys have been absolutely insane supporting this channel lately with all the likes, with all the comments. If you haven't liked the video yet, go ahead and leave a like. If you haven't left a comment yet, go ahead and leave a comment. But let me just make something very clear when it comes to the comments. When it comes to this live chat, and when it comes to the comments below, there is a zero tolerance policy on saying that I look like Jamie Mullarkey. Do you understand me? Anything in the live chat, anything in the comments below, there is no questions. I don't care if you've been a member 24 months. I don't care how much you've donated. If you say anything about me looking like Jamie Mullarkey, I am going to automatically ban you, and I am going to pursue criminal and civil litigation and charges upon you or any businesses that you own. I will end up with your car. I will end up with your house. I will end up with the entire city that you live in if you say anything about me looking like Jamie Mullarkey in the comments below. Last thing, Angelo, and then I'll give it back to you. I am here to endorse the Mexican Blood Fly Parlay. It is trademarked. It's going to be everywhere by the end of the week. We will explain it as the fight goes on. Mexican Blood Fly Parlay. I'm excited about it. Go ahead. I think I look like Kevin.
You look just like Kevin. Let me swap this real quick, and we'll break this card down.
No,
and there you go.
Angelo's a top, guys.
There you go. Dude, you know what's
that would make me the power bottom. I like that.
Why are you proud of that? It's like
a power bottom. That sounds great to me.
Tiffany was like, "I'm gonna run to the store real quick," and then my youngest climbs out of bed, comes stomping downstairs. It is not easy to do this crap with kids. First up at UFC 293, we've got Kevin Jousset taking on Kiefer Crosbie. Kevin Jousset is 8-2 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He is making his UFC debut, and he's taking on Kiefer Crosbie. This guy's 10-3 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he is riding a nice 2-fight win streak. this is a fight that honestly should have been in the last card. UFC Paris was loaded with French debut fighters taking on
he
overrated.
fights out of Australia. Relax.
Yeah, relax. Thanks for letting me finish. Taking on overrated Irishmen. And what did we say last card? All these Irish guys are a little overrated. For some reason, the Irish fighters get like a ton of too much support. They both lost.
Connor just got his black belt. Did you see that?
Wow, I'm sure. And has he
Go
ever?
ahead, say it. Go ahead,
like,
say it.
What a scam that is. What a scam
He's
that
always
is.
grappling on the gram.
Yeah, what a scam
Grappling
that is.
with that
That's
fucking drug addiction.
grappling his demons. I haven't seen him
He's
win
got
one
a
of those
vice
yet.
grip on those vices, I'll tell you that. Holy shit.
With 0 wins. Anyway, Kevin Jousset is a stocky. He fights like all the Frenchmen. I was actually talking to somebody this past weekend, and I was like, all of these French guys fight the same. And he was like, yeah, that's the savant style. Oh. And this guy fights just like the rest of them. He's a stocky striker. He's going to work his way forward very slowly. He does have low hands, and he does have low volume. When he finally does close the distance, he's going to like to work you against the cage. Again, keep that pace slow and work in some takedowns. He is insanely patient. Everything he does is just methodical, takes his time. He's not an exciting guy, unfortunately. His takedowns are slow. Striking is slow, but he is big for the weight class. He's very strong, and he knows how to use that size advantage. He's taking on Kiefer Crosbie. This guy's an aggressive striker. He comes forward. He lets his hands go. Unlike Kevin, it's reckless abandon out there. He's got great power. He does get wild. And considering he does have a lot of striking experience outside of MMA, his defense is actually pretty disappointing. His offense is definitely something you need to worry about, but you can touch him if you need to. Huh? He is not a grappler by trade, but he will work in a takedown or two if he needs to sort of lock in around. Kevin should probably be the pick here. He's going to be big. He's going to be strong. He can slow the pace, take his time, do all things. He's not going to put himself into harm's way, but it is so hard to pick such a low volume guy. He does get hit. He doesn't do much other than just try to be a weight bully. If you're new to MMA, you don't really know what that means is he just wants to be bigger than you. Like his whole fight style is being bigger than his opponent, just push them and slow it down and all of that. Either way, I don't want to pick Kevin, but I'm going to pick Kiefer here. The reality is he probably loses, but I like the fact that he is going to come out. He is going to throw his hands. He is going to try to get this done. He's going to stay in Kevin's face, and Kevin does get hit. His defense is also not great. So we got first round Kiefer or decision Kevin is basically the only two ways that this fight goes. I'm going to lean first round Kiefer. I think he'll come out. I think he'll be insanely aggressive as we've seen him in the past and could potentially get something done because Kevin keeps his hands a little too low. What are you laughing at and what do you think?
I was laughing at when you were talking about being a weight bully, and I was trying to I held myself back from
I'm obese. Yeah, thank you so much for that.
And running mouth MMA's in the hazy. Wah, 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 wah.
Keep going. I'm already annoyed about the obese comment
that I made about myself. Say hi to him? Or?
Hey, guys, how you doing? I just plugged all their shit and said use their promo code.
Nice. Yeah, so when I first started watching film on these guys, I started with Kevin. And 30 seconds, I think, into the first fight that I watched for Kevin, I was like, holy shit, I am fading this guy just from the way that he stands. Because as you mentioned, he does have a hands-low style. And it's not like a wide karate style, but he just seems so unathletic. And I was going to say, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but that is that is pretty disrespectful. So he just looks so stiff and so unathletic in the way he stands. I'm like, if this guy that he's fighting can strike at all, I'm going to be all over him. And then Kiefer just had a boxing match literally like a month ago. He is a very, very good striker. But then I started watching Kevin more, and I'm like, okay, this guy actually kind of knows what he's doing in there. I mean, the way that he stands, you guys are going to see it. You're going to be like, oh, this guy's going to get knocked out. But then when you see the footwork and you see the way that he can get the clinch, and his judo is really, really high level, that if Kiefer blitzes into those clinch positions, he will just go for a fucking ride on those little tosses that he has. And he's pretty good on the ground once he gets you on the ground. So, I am going to go with Kiefer. Because, as you said, Kevin is hittable. I think Kiefer comes through, it just pushes that pressure and lands that shot. But if this gets out of the first round, I have lost all interest in Kiefer. I haven't bet him, right? I don't feel that good about him. As you mentioned, he definitely can lose this fight. But I think, as you said, he's going to get in there, find something early, and maybe put this guy away. But, Kevin's better than he's going to look in there is what I would say.
Yeah, and we have no data here, so I show this slide. It's pretty meaningless. But, yeah, Kevin is he just knows how to be big. There's so many fights where he's losing the early exchanges. He's losing a lot of that back and forth, and then he just gets close, pushes you, holds you, slows the pace, keeps you against the cage, and all of a sudden being fast and hitting hard means nothing because giant 6'2" at welterweight Kevin is able to slow that down and do what he wants to do. And he doesn't really fade. And he's not like a gangly, lanky, I don't know how he's a 170. He's like big everywhere.
We had a friend in high school, one of my good friends in high school. His name was Kevin. We called him Big K. And his brother was Big E.
We had a kid in Kevin. He was Special K. It wasn't the full size bust that he took to school. It was the smaller of the two.
Oh boy.
The two bus options. Anyway, DraftKings wise, I don't think I'm going to spend. Well, I'm definitely not going to spend the $8,400 on Kevin. The only problem with saying that is Kiefer can get stopped. He gets a little too reckless, overcommits, slows down. He can get stopped. So this could be a really weird fight where it's boring and it's slow and Kevin does what he does and, slows his pace down and wins a decision. Or Kiefer could take his head off, or Kevin could weather the early storm, wear down Kiefer, and stop him. So I don't think I'm going to spend the $8,400 on Kevin. I'll consider the $7,800 on Kiefer. That feels like more of a punt play for a large DraftKings tournament, but it's a tricky fight. What do you think for DraftKings?
Do you think that you could beat those kids in a punt, pass, and kick contest, like the 10 and 12-year-olds and stuff that do it? You ever see those?
I would say yes, except Sunday we had a party at the house. We had a bunch of neighbors over, and Bo, big ass 6'7" country boy, high school football coach Bo was here with his kid, and he's in all the vlogs. If you haven't,
he played college football. Let's not forget.
Played D1 college.
Could have went pro, but he talked it over with his family, and
he decided not to. But anyway, he was here with his kid. His kid is 5, but
taller than me.
Basically
taller than me.
Basically grew up in the front yard, just playing catch, doing whatever. That kid was ripping full. And my yard's big for Texas.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's hard work, and you know what it is. So many people care more about getting what they want and not how to get it. You got to get in the right line. And really
I think I saw a quote of that today. What
was it? You really need the graphic to emphasize. Anyway, the point is.
It's a line of people, and it's the line for hungry to win. It packed, right? Because everyone's hungry to win, right? Everyone's ready. They want to win. Everyone wants to win, right? And then the other line, there's nobody in front of it, and it says hungry to do what winning requires. Yeah, that's a lot of hard work. That's a lot of dedication. I think me and you have put forth that effort.
It's custom graphics. It's all the things. Anyway, point being, I went the short line. I went to the short line, put in the hard work. I have a nice yard. This kid, 5 years old, throwing perfect spirals across the entire yard, and not horizontal, diagonal. Bo was on the side or the patio, and his kid was in the corner. Perfect spirals. It was wild. So your question that started this: could you beat the 10? No, not if those are the 10-year-olds. That kid in 5 years, no.
I've already told you this story, but there was a guy that when I was probably 6 through 12 years old, a guy lived across the street from us. Unbeknownst to me, turns out was a. Oh my God! Did you just lagged out like crazy? Did your computer shut off? Are you there?
Nope. The stupid Tiffany. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Tiffany knows I'm streaming and called anyway. It's having a family.
But anyway, the guy across the street, every time I was out just kind of tossing a ball, because my favorite thing to do was punt a ball in the air and then pretend I'm Deion Sanders and catch it, like return it. And he would always come out and be like, hey, Jay. His name was Gino, which one of the anybody named Gino is a fucking certified weirdo. And he'd be like, hey, Jacob, you want to teach me how to throw a spiral? You want to teach me how to throw a spiral? Oh, I forgot about Gino from Beto.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, my bad,
Beto?
Gino.
Yeah,
my bad, Gino. He's cool. He's cool. I think he was Gino Betopely is Gino. I think this guy was an E, so I think it's a little bit different.
Geno is bizarre. Why is my camera so dark? I got the freaking.
I know. It looked like your power went out when your lights went out.
No, it's like my camera's like compensating oddly. There we go. Anyway.
20 minutes of fight. We're on a good pace here.
I know. Anyway, become a premium member. It's $10 a month. WeWantPicks.com. You'll unlock everything you have ever needed in the history of time. We have a $1 super chat from Gold Coast Kombucha. Thank you very much. I'm sure your kombucha is delicious. Most aren't, but yours probably is. Thank you so much for the $1 super chat. Then we have... Wait, is this the original? What time is it? Brian sent 100. Oh, I missed that. Oh, Jesus, I'm going backwards. There we go. Okay, got it. Great start to the show. Great start to the show. And then Tiffany, I texted her. I'm like, you can't call when I'm streaming. She's like, accident. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
You lying bitch.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There's no way. Oh,
no, it fucking wasn't.
Yeah.
What are you trying to fool?
Next up. At UFC 293, we have Shane Young taking on Gabriel Fly Miranda. Shane Young, 13-7 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He is riding a 3-fight losing streak. Losing, key word here, because this guy's a considerably large favorite. Taking on Gabriel Miranda, 16-6 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off the stoppage loss to Benoit Saint Denis. Stop doing that. Shane Young, this guy's a solid kickboxer. Him, like half of this card, he's out of that city kickboxing gym with Izzy, the rest of that crew, Ulberg, all these people are on this freaking card. He likes to work forward. He wants to jab. He's going to manage range. He's going to control the center. He's constantly pumping that jab out there in combinations. He's more of a volume striker than a raw power guy, but he can definitely put you away. He's coming off that loss to Blake Builder, where his striking actually looked, he's supposed to be the better striker here. His striking looked stiff. He had nothing to offer when he was actually taken down. But if you do remember, that was his first fight back after 2 years outside of the cage, taking on Gabriel Miranda. This guy's a slick grappler. He's got nice takedowns. He's very much an old school BJJ guy who's going to work from position to position and look for a submission instead of just pounding away on top. The problem is that he can be submission or bust, and he's so good. He's so comfortable on the ground. He'll get swept. He doesn't care. He'll just go with the flow. He'll stay on his back. And as we all know, that doesn't score very well with some judges on some of these cards, especially a card like this. When you got, a lot of strike-heavy people, being on your back may not work out well for you. But he is coming off that loss to Benoit Saint Denis, where he came out guns blazing. He had big shots, takedown attempts, but he faded pretty quickly. This is a tough fight to pick. These odds are surprising. These are very, very, very wide odds because we essentially have a grappler versus striker matchup here. Shane's going to be the striker. He did look stiff in his last fight. Gabriel's a grappler, but he gets way too tired way too early to work in takedowns late in fights. Shane looked clueless off his back in the last fight, but if you zoom out, before that takedown, before he ended up on his back, he defended 6 takedowns. And Blake Builder is a fast, athletic guy who does set a pace. So I'm still going to pick Shane because I can trust his cardio. If I knew Gabriel was going to have cardio and he wasn't going to fade as quickly as he did in his last fight, he actually would be the pick. But I don't trust his cardio, so Shane's going to be the pick. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first edition of the Mexican Blood Fly Parlay. Fly would be the nickname of Gabriel Miranda because he is the first part of this underdog parlay that I am pumping all week. Wouldn't recommend putting a lot on it, but I do have a little bit. It's just a fun parlay that I came up with. Thought it was a funny name, but Fly is the first leg because this guy is very, very aggressive. And I think Shane Young, with his style, is just so prone to just kind of being overwhelmed in fights. And I see Gabriel as he has good enough striking. He uses that striking really well to he just blitzes with his strike. He basically does what Aljo should do better, if that makes any sense. He's not the same grappler or wrestler as Aljo, but the way that he's able to use his strikes in the takedowns is better than what Aljo does. He's a better striker than Aljo. So he comes in with the big strikes. He's a good striker. He he had Benoit on absolute skates. He actually showed up pretty good toughness in that matchup. I know he ended up getting finished. Should have been finished at the end of the first round. Got finished early second round, right when the first round started. But even in those exchanges, you saw this guy he is a jiu-jitsu nerd. Ansel was exactly right. He falls in love with the grappling. He will go on his back. He will do what he needs to do there to try and just stay on the ground. But he's not a typical jiu-jitsu nerd. This guy is tough. He does have good striking, and he does have legit takedowns. He has really good doubles. He has really good body. He gets to the body lock with inside trips and outside trips. He does have really good takedowns. And the second that this fight gets to the ground, and I believe it's going to happen within the first minute, because Gabriel's not going to stand around and he just blitzes in. He goes in for it. It's going to go to the ground, and Shane Young is in big, big trouble. He's not going to want to stay on the ground. He knows it's dangerous. In front of the home fans, he is going to make a mistake getting back to his feet, and I'd like Fly to get this done in the first round by submission. I'm pretty confident in him this week. And Shane Young, he's pretty well-rounded, but you don't look at Shane Young and be like, oh, he's really good at, it's just kind of he's good at everything, but not great at anything,
Yeah. No, I hear you. And this is not I obviously picked Shane, but like I said, it's really because I don't trust Gabriel's cardio.
I don't think it
That's
matters.
the reality of it. I don't trust his cardio.
No, that makes sense. I personally don't think it's going to matter, but it makes sense for you to think that. You're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Hold on one second. Okay. I mean, this is like, she's like, "Where's mommy? Where I told you." Get your ass
Mommy
home
left
right
a
now.
long time ago.
Yeah, she went out to get a gallon of milk in 1998, and now you're raising yourselves upstairs. See it? Hear it? Okay. It's guys, don't get a dog, don't get kids. It's a whole thing. They all need something. Shane Young's going to be the pick. I'm not going to fight and scream with Jacob here because Gabriel Miranda doesn't have the cardio, in my opinion. But if he does have the cardio, if the last fight was a fluke, or maybe for whatever reason, it's not like
he didn't get tired. He just got beat on. I mean, he just got
the cardio issue wasn't based solely off his last fight. He's had cardio issues on tape in previous fights. But if you trust his cardio, and I saw people posting pictures in our Discord, join the Discord. It is 100% free. If you saw those pictures that people were posting, dude looks physically, Gabriel Miranda looks fantastic.
Well, he's coming down to 145. So we might. Yeah. This might be this could be a scale thing too. If he looks sucked out, his cardio is already going to suck. So
yeah. No, that's literally the only reason I'm not picking him. Other than that, I do think he can win. But $7,600 in DraftKings, I mean, that might be something to look at. If he gets on the scale and he's hopping around, he looks like he's full of energy, made the weight. If you're trusting the cardio this time out, he may look fantastic because Shane Young looked real stiff in his last fight. And if Gabriel gets one of those takedowns, he could have some very real success. You're going to spend the $7,600 on him.
Yeah, I just don't see Shane defending that first takedown, and he's just so aggressive when he gets that first takedown. I think Shane's in trouble in this one. But if you're gonna play it, and this is probably where something backfires, I wouldn't play him money line. You might as well just play him by submission. I think it moves it from plus 150 to plus 200 and something. And he's 16 wins, 15 submissions. You might as well just play the odds on that.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm gonna fade this fight entirely for most things. What are you laughing at?
You just have such a hatred for the live chat. But I get it this time.
It's one thing. The dude always wants to say dumb shit, which is fine. Let him say dumb shit. But once he starts saying actual business affecting things, gone forever. No exceptions. Anyway, WeWantPicks.com. We've been having some wild success with our bets. Artem has been crushing the non-UFC cards. His UFC picks have been phenomenal, but I'm emphasizing the non-UFC cards because he's putting that stuff out there as well. Sign up. $10 a month. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. You're going to unlock the DraftKings Optimizer. You're going to unlock the bets. You're going to unlock the picks. You're going to unlock round line sways. For every single one of these fights, I'm going to give you my round line lean. So is Artem. You're going to get confidence levels on the picks. There's so much information, so much content, the data, the metrics, the analytics, and then our actual bets, what we're doing. Ton of stuff on there, only $10 a month at WeWantPicks.com. Next up, at UFC 293, we have Blood Diamond taking on Charlie Radtke. I mentioned this in my video. Dude, you know how hard it was to find like a... That's the best
I found a
I could
normal
find
one.
of this guy.
I found a normal one for mine.
Yeah, but you used a smaller one, so it may have been... Or his arms are out like this or something, right?
Yeah, you just cut the arm.
No, I need whole body. I don't play those games. Anyway, I mentioned it in my... I challenged the community here. I mentioned it in my my quick picks video or my full card breakdown that Blood Diamond is the only fighter in the UFC that only goes by his nickname. It is literally Blood Diamond.
Oh, not Korean Zombie.
Korean Zombie, it said Da Un Jung on everything.
No, it's
Tapology, you go to Tapology right now, it says Da Un Jung. You go to Tapology right now, it says Blood Diamond. Because people said Korean Zombie, and that's not true. And they also said...
The Wizard.
Somebody said the Cowboy. That's just not true. Sometimes the pay-per-view or the event will have the nickname, but I'm talking every single document, SureDog, Tapology, the UFC website. There's no... His real name is Mike Mathetha. Doesn't exist. It's all Blood Diamond. It's pretty weird.
What about Mackenzie Dern? They announced her as PHATS, fat ass.
Anyway, Blood Diamond, 3-2 in MMA. And that's it. That's his entire record and his last 5. He is looking for his first UFC win. He's taking on Charlie Radtke. This kid is not nearly as hood as this picture would make you think. He's 7-3 overall. He's 4-1 in his last 5. He is riding a
He's from Fort Myers, right?
Fight win streak. Is he from Fort Myers?
I think he's the one from Fort Myers, yeah.
I knew he was from that area. I didn't know if it was specifically Fort Myers. But Blood Diamond, I mentioned his real name is actually Mike Mathetha, which is just, I hate saying it. Just really makes my tongue seem 10 times larger than it actually is. This guy's a very experienced striker. 3-2 in MMA, but the reality is he is a striker that has moved over. He had well over 100.
Yeah, he trains in Naples. Evolution MMA in Naples.
There you go. He has
Chuck
well
Buffalo.
Over,
that's a great nickname.
He has well over 100 kickboxing matches, again, on 3 fights in a row. He's out of that city kickboxing gym. He's with Ulberg. He's with Izzy. He's with Shane Jung and all of those people. So he's going to get proper MMA training. It's just a matter of how much has he absorbed in this short time in his MMA career. He's 0-2 in the UFC. He has been taken down in both of those fights, but he was able to defend some as well. He defended 4 of Jeremiah Wells' takedowns, 5 of Orion Kose's. He is absolutely a striker. You're going to see a submission on his record. The dude got thrown. He was thrown, and just the way they landed, there was a neck there, and he just squeezed it real quick, and then that was it. He's taking on Charlie Radtke. This kid's an athletic grappler. He literally lowers his level, takes a shot. He immediately starts working 4 positions. He's very controlled on the ground and very dangerous. He hunts for submissions and transitions well between them. He does pull guillotine. He does chase things that aren't necessarily there. I don't love seeing that. He also does tend to slow as fights go on, and he can be hittable. For all of those things, I actually like Blood Diamond here because I'll tell you, when I saw these odds, it's like, okay, Blood Diamond, winless in the UFC. I know he's a phenomenal striker. I'm going to assume that Charlie Radtke, at these odds, at a 3-1 favorite, is going to be a nasty grappler. And then I pull up some tape. I'm watching some fights. Oh, okay, he is a good grappler. And then I just keep watching. And it's like, he's breathing a little heavy. He's getting hit a lot. And then you just really start to look at that. And it's like, man, this might actually be the one that Blood Diamond can win because, yes, Charlie Radtke, if he can get the takedowns and he can get it to the ground, sure. But Blood Diamond has shown us that he is athletic against the cage. He can defend some takedowns. And getting hit in the face by the people that have already hit Charlie is not the same than when he gets in the hit in the face by Blood Diamond. So I like Blood Diamond here. He's going to be the pick. I haven't bet on him yet. I might do a wins inside the distance decision, no action, because he could absolutely lose a decision here, but he could also take Charlie's head clean off his body. So These odds are shocking to me. I'm just going to keep watching because they continue to widen, and we'll see what ends up happening. But I mean, this dude is a very high-level professional kickboxer fighting a UFC debut who gets hit and gets tired. This might be his first UFC win. What do you think, Jakey boy?
This has got to be literally a monumental moment in history for We Want Picks, that you have a guy that most people think has no idea how to wrestle, and you are picking him as a massive underdog against somebody that could.
I usually lean wrestle heavy, yeah.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, here's how I broke down this fight. First, after I did all my research, I thought, oh, there's no way Angela's picking Blood Diamond. And here we are. But this is how I started watching the fight, right? I know who Blood Diamond is already, so I start watching Charlie. And I think, oh my God, this guy could be my lock of the week because, one, I notice he's a striker. As Angel mentioned, this guy is a striker. And I'm thinking, okay, remember, I don't look at the odds beforehand, so I have no idea. I'm like, okay, they have a striker finally up against Blood Diamond. He probably is going to be the underdog because Blood Diamond is has all the kickboxing experience in the world. I mean, he came in as this like very high level touted kickboxer. So I thought, okay, this guy's going to strike with this high level guy. He's going to be an underdog. Can I find a reason to make him my lock of the week? This is me thinking he's going to be an underdog. And I start watching film, and I want him to be my lock of the week. But as Angel mentioned, I'm watching him, and he gets hit, and I see him get dropped, and I see him getting out-wrestled, and I see when he is grappling, as Angel mentioned, it's not dominant takedowns.
He takes chances.
Right. So then I start watching Blood Diamond. Again, I don't know what the odds are. So I start watching Blood Diamond. I'm like, okay, obviously a good striker. You watch the Jeremiah one, defended a few takedowns. Jeremiah's a big, strong dude. You come in versus Kosuke. Every single initial shot that Kosuke shot, from what I remember from watching it the other day, he defended just fine. What he had issues with was he was staying in the clinch, and his coach, the city kickboxing guy, was literally screaming, "Get away from him! Get away!" He just stayed in the clinch, and the longer he stayed in the clinch, then the other takedowns happened for Kosuke, the trips, the lat drops, the stuff that he was not prepared for. But the initial takedown defense is really, really good. So I think Charlie is going to come in and think, I'm just going to take this guy down. He's not going to take this guy down, and Blood Diamond should be the much better striker. And I think that he can find a knockout on the feet against Charlie because he is a hittable guy. He's a very good guy. I have nothing against Charlie, but this is a weird matchup for him. If he thinks that he's just going to take Blood Diamond down and wrestle him, I think he's going to be surprised by the takedown defense. And all Blood Diamond has to do is separate, get back to space, and he's the better striker. And that's why he is the second leg of the Mexican Blood Fly Parlay. Fly, blood, coming soon.
There's only one Mexican on this card.
I wasn't even looking at
so
my.
annoying.
I was just looking at you, me doing that.
Being annoyed, just watching me be annoyed at you.
Yeah, you were just like, and I loved it. It was incredible.
Yeah, well, you got that little kid brother bullshit, little man energy. So I hear you. $7,100 in DraftKings. I'll probably shoot my shot because, yes, Blood Diamond can be outclassed on the ground, but I don't think this is that matchup. So I think Blood Diamond is going to defend some early takedowns, have some success, potentially win this fight, but there are some wild prices on this card. $9,100 for a UFC debut with 3 losses is one of those. So I will potentially have some Blood Diamond action going. And as I mentioned, I'm considering a win inside the distance decision, no action bet. I may just go straight money line. I'm going to keep watching. This odds, they're continuing to widen. The line movement tracker, I'm going to eat my own dog food or drink my own champagne, depending on how classy you want to be with that saying.
I'm like a dog with a bone.
Nope, that doesn't work here. We'll find a fight that works.
Heavens.
And just such a Ned Flanders moment for you. But
you know what's funny is that's an inside joke that doesn't include you. So I said that specifically so I could send it to my group chat later because Big Don said that the other night. I can't remember what I said. It must have been a funny TikTok or something. He responded just with heavens, and I just started dying laughing when I saw it because it was such a random response, like, oh heavens.
It's like 19.
So I literally said that just so I could send it to them. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm gonna monitor the line movement tracker here. And that's where it's great. That's it. Look at the opening odds. Look at the current odds. Wow, this is really flying off the rails, or this is tightening. Let me keep an eye on it. Maybe I'll check again a little later, place my bet tomorrow kind of thing. And that's what I'm doing here. Like, this is continuing to widen. So I'm on the good side of the widening of the line, so let me keep an eye on it, see what happens. You want to unlock the line movement tracker and every other freaking tool and bet and pick and everything else that we have available for you at WeWantPicks.com. Just go there and click Become a Member at the top. It's $10 a month. We don't have a break in a week. We don't have a week off in a very long time. And we've absolutely been killing it. Oh, and at the end of the day, even if you don't use those things, you don't bet, it's just a great way to show support for the channel. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Yeah, Jacob's using all the money he gets from it to go to Brazil. There you go. Somebody, when you did that press conference lock of the week last week, somebody's like, so he just has all these flags? He has a flag room? It's like, no, idiot. They're props for these videos.
Wow, maybe I do have a flag room. Maybe I do. Maybe that's a little fetish of mine. You want to fuck me on a Canadian flag?
We're looking at your entire place. This is it. This is the whole thing. There's a bed on the other side of that stupid board, and that's it. That's the place.
Oh, I'm Angela. I have to put people down to make myself feel better. You should read I'm reading this book called the Four Agreements, and it really gets in depth about the way you feel, not only about yourself, but how you treat other people. And one of the first things they teach you is to be impeccable with your word, Angelo, and that means not disparaging people. That means if you are impeccable with your word, you will allow others to also be impeccable with their word, and that makes just for a nice, friendly place for everyone.
I'm good. $20 super chat from Prominent Talent. He said, thanks for the great content and betting recommendations. Loyal fan. He's like our biggest Instagram supporter. Every week I post all these
We have
graphics.
an Instagram?
Yep, all these beautiful graphics that you see get posted there every single week. And every week, Prominent likes every single one of them. We appreciate the support genuinely. $2 super chat from Austen Levi. Can I get a shout out for my daughter, Oakley? Shout out, Oakley.
Oh, my God. You know what you just said?
No, I read it 7 times before I did that to make sure that it wasn't a trick. Because I'm like, that seems a little, okay, Oakley. What
That's a cool name.
Horribly offensive term could that be? And it's
That's
not.
a cool.
It's a beautiful.
That's a cool name for a daughter. You know what I was thinking too? I think Kiefer is a great name. I heard that and I was like, I like that name because then you can go by Keith, and then people are like, oh, it's Keith, and people think you're going, no, it's Keith. You know,
is this a real thing, or is this because Tiffany was texting you about dog names?
She texted me about dog names. She
I'm
didn't text
asking
me at all.
because
Why is that the name?
She floated it by, and I shut that shit down. I was like, that's a
Kiefer?
fucking dumb dog. Yeah. I was like, that's
How does she come up with Kiefer?
You should have seen, dude. She would come up with a name. I would finally agree.
The reason I know is because of Kiefer on this card.
Names. Or Kiefer Sutherland. She would come up with a name, and I'd be like, still crying. She'd come up with a name. I would disagree with it. Then she would come up with another name. I disagree with it. 10 names in, I'm like, all right, I can do that one. And she's like, I don't like that so much.
The chat will give you a good name. Angelo needs a good dog boy name.
We already landed on a name.
No, they'll come up with something good. A fight-related boy dog name. Go, chat. I tried. And they're going to come up with some good stuff.
I tried. We couldn't come up with anything good. I was going to say something else, and now I'm forgetting.
Yo, what up? I'm Keith.
Chief Keith. Oh, you said people say I'm Kiefer. Oh, and you could be Keith. When I was in my early 20s and we would go to the bar, and this is when they would keep your card for an open tab instead of just swiping and give it back to you. And then you go there and they go, what's the name? It's loud, it's crowded, whatever. What's the name? And I would just say Andrew. And then half the time they just walk off and there was an Andrew there and I was good. And then the other half they'd come back, they'd say, whoa, what is it? There's no Andrew. And I'd say Angelo. Oh, okay. I mean, it was just a nice casual way of stealing from people when I was going to
say, I don't know what the statute of limitations is on that. And
well, you know.
So if you're any Andrew out there, you might want to reach out to your bank and go through your statements from 1983 when Angela was going to the bars.
All right, let's settle down. This is it's like, oh, it's a pay-per-view week. Let's have the kid be a complete nightmare for no reason while Angelo's live on the internet. That makes sense.
Octagon. What about Octodog?
I thought you said the comment section was usually a clever group of people.
Oh, they got some good ones in there.
No,
it should be Du Bronx. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yo, what's up? That's Du Bronx. You should do Du Bronx.
Come on, Du. Here, Du.
No, you say no. The champ has a name, Angelo. And his name is Charles Oliveira. Du Bronx.
He's not the champ. He got
He will be the champ. We can talk about that. You want to break down that fight right now? Because he is going to smoke Islam.
Okay. Anyway. Next up, at UFC 293, we have Nasrat Haqparast taking on Landon Quinones. Nasrat Haqparast, 14-5 overall. 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming off the decision win over John Makdessi. Taking on Landon Quinones. This guy's 7-1 overall, 5-0 in his last 5. Coming off a short stint on the Ultimate Fighter. Nasrat Haqparast, this guy has been around forever, and at one point was like a really big prospect and was really going to do something. They were pushing him. He's an Afghani fighter, and they're like, yes, this is a great market for us. And didn't turn out that way. Had a couple of tough matchups. Started to lose a few fights. But the reality is he's still a very good striker. He does have some high volume. He lands more than 5 significant strikes per minute. He's got a really good 78% takedown defense. When he can push a pace, when he can find the rhythm, he's a really hard guy to beat. He just broke a 2-fight skid with a decision win over John Makdessi, where he worked in 2 takedowns and a knockdown. Taking on Landon Quinones. I mentioned this kid's coming off the Ultimate Fighter. He's immediately being thrown into deep water. I mean, this is a tough... Here's your official UFC debut. I mean, this is a tough fight to get right off the jump. Style-wise, he's a decent striker, but a very slick wrestler. He's probably going to categorize himself as a striker, but he could be a slow starter on his feet. It takes him a little while to gauge the range and the rhythm, but what he does well is work in those takedowns. He's going to lower his level, shoot a clean shot. They're not desperate. They're usually well set up. They usually result in some real nice pressure on top. And, he's a well-rounded guy that could probably have some success in the UFC. It's not going to be in this fight, though. These odds are super wide. These odds are super wide. We've seen Nasrat lose fights.
Sorry to crush your dream, buddy. It's not going to be this fight, though.
I thought you were laughing at me because you're on the other. I thought you were on Landon's side, so you're laughing at me.
No, it's just the way you said that. He probably is going to have some success in the UFC. Not this fight, though.
But the reality is, like, Nasrat, we've seen him lose some fights. But, I mean, how many times have we broken down fights where it's like, that's a pretty well-rounded guy. Oh, he's fighting like an actual talented veteran. We just saw that on the UFC Paris card. There's a couple of fights like that. Like, oh, he's actually fighting somebody who's been here for Volkov. Bogdan versus Volkov on the Paris card. And I fell into that trap. I'm like, Volkov can be chinny. You can get to him. And that's not Nasrat here, but it's like, oh, Nasrat can be taken down. Nasrat can be outworked. And that's how Dan Hooker beat Nasrat. He just outworked him, took him down. I don't see it happening. I think Nasrat's going to defend the takedowns. I think Nasrat's going to have the much better striking, much more volume, and I think he absolutely gets it done. Certainly, Quinones can steal this fight, but it's a fist fight. You can say that about anything. What do you think, Jakey Bongolots?
Yeah, there's nothing too crazy to break down in this fight. As you mentioned, I like Landon's game. I mean, he is a respectable opponent for Nasrat. There could be moments in this fight where like, oh no, because if you have Nasrat, I'm sure a lot of people, even if they don't know anything about the fights, they see this guy and they're, 400, 500 favorite. Okay, parlay. Okay, parlay. He is a parlay piece. He boom, boom, boom. And there could be a moment in this fight where he is flat on his back. Or there could be a moment in this fight where he does eat a shot because he can get hit as well. But I just don't think Landon kind of has that extra gear, that extra edge. He is at a great camp, Kill Cliff. We saw Angelosa last week coming out of Kill Cliff. Looks fantastic. He is an experienced guy more than I would say than a 7-1 record, but he kind of wants to do what Nasrat does. Nasrat will also kind of mix in a takedown or two. Nasrat wants to just kind of stand and kind of box with you, and he should be better pretty much everywhere than Landon, unfortunately for Landon, because he is a good fighter. But Nasrat's good. He's got good footwork. He knows how to stay safe defensively. In this fight, it feels like he should be able to take a few more chances, right? That John Makdessi fight, you kind of wish that he was...
He's technical, yeah.
Right, and he will not go 100%, right? I mean, he's just touch and touch and touch, because you'll see once he finally goes, he can land power. And Landon seems like a guy where Nasrat, if he wants to turn into a guy, as Angelo mentioned, he was brought in as kind of like he could be a prospect. If you want to make a statement in the lightweight division, in a pay-per-view, this is your chance against a guy like Landon. I think he's hittable, and I think if you start landing power late first into the second, you can find a finish on this guy. So I'm going Nasrat all the way here. It is what it is.
Yeah, and Nasrat's the type of guy, they rushed him. Let me pull up. I'm going to pull up his record real quick. Nasrat's the type of guy where they did bring him in as a prospect, and he was supposed to be this like super high level guy. Like, you know, they're loving that region. And a lot of those people, he came in undefeated, I believe, and then he got his losses, which that's how the UFC should work, right? Actually, I don't think he lost all 5 of these fights in the UFC. But, he did lose all 5
his lost his very first fight.
Yeah.
And then he lost by Marcin Held. Got knocked out by Jim Dover. Happens. Got outworked by Dan Hooker. Happens. And then got outboxed by Bobby Green. That happens, you know.
But then he's got some quality wins too. Alex Munoz, Division I, very solid wrestler. That's a good win. Rafa Garcia, that's a good win. John Makdessi, he's old, he's a little slower, but he's a technical striker. That's a decent win. Joaquim Silva's a good win. And Mark DeCasey is a good win. So Nasrat, Haqparast, I mean, we don't need to convince you he's good. He's a minus 500 favorite here. But
and just so I can add this in here, Alex Munoz sucks.
I get it, but it's still...
We found that out a couple months ago, guys.
But the point is, he won that fight, but yes.
Holy fuck.
The point is, he's
God, that was when we both doubled down on that tip we received. He barely beat a guy with one arm. Holy fuck.
Well, Nasrat Haqparast should be getting the win here. Pretty confident in that. Unfortunately for Landon, it's going to be a tough UFC debut, but... we'll see what happens. Although the $9,500 in DraftKings Fantasy for Nasrat, it's a tricky. He's not finishing people.
There's better spots. Yeah, there's probably better spots.
No, 100%. I completely agree.
Unless he starts really going in on the wrestling for some reason, but I don't know.
Which he got 2 takedowns in his last fight, so we have seen him use the wrestling in the past.
Really good, really well timed too. That one of them was really late versus John, right when you saw it, because John's a tough dude, and he knew he was down in that fight, so he started getting really aggressive. And Nasrat stifled that aggression really well with a really well timed double. So even if he gets in trouble here, he does have that in his back pocket. He's a smart guy.
100%. He had a knockdown in his last fight. In his last fight, Nasrat Haqparast scored really, really well.
Right.
So this fight's going to be, it's a tricky decision. Do I use him? Do I not use him?
He knocked down John, didn't he? Who's John fighting?
In fact, it's the next fight. Before I go to that, though, how about the, let me plug the promo. Hold on.
Okay, I'm ready.
Just go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. It's only $10 a month. You'll unlock everything you've ever needed, including detailed breakdowns on every single fighter and how you should use them in different types of DraftKings fantasy entries, including detailed data, metrics, and analytics to help you find your own spots, including tools like the line movement tracker that will identify the odds. They'll be able to highlight lines that have flipped and moved, including the DraftKings Optimizer, including FanDuel content, including Prize Picks and Underdog, including me, Jacob, Running Mouth, and Artem's picks and bets. There's your plug. Hey, how about this graphic, though? You see those little kangaroos in the background? I mean, that's...
I see Landon's tiny little nipples, man. Those things are beady.
Forget the nipple. Look at the It's a field of kangaroos.
You know what Sean Strickland said on the Embedded today?
What do you say?
He's like, I haven't found a kangaroo to fight yet, but I promise, guys, as soon as I fight one, I'm squaring up with it. This fucking guy's a psycho.
He is.
I was laughing at someone said, "Can I get a backstory how Jacob and Angela met?" I know I heard it a few times, but tell me again. And then his next comment was, "Where are you neighbors?" Angela loves neighbors.
And we were neighbors. Yeah, and I do love neighbors.
I was the original neighbor.
No, I had neighbors before you. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Next up at UFC 293, we have Jamie Mullarkey taking on
son of a bitch.
John Makdessi.
No, fuck it. What the fuck? At least it's a decent picture. I mean, I'm looking
at it. It's the only normal picture I could find of you, and you have no eyebrows, clear as day. It's the only normal picture I could find of you.
Asshole, dude. Oh my god.
Jamie
I wish I was looking at my phone and didn't realize it for a little bit, because you would have been sitting there like giggling and waiting for me to notice it.
That's why I really set this up. That's why I was like, how about those kangaroos, to get you really focused on the screen, and then boom. And then anyway, Jamie Mullarkey, 16-6 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming off the knockout loss to Muhammad Naimov. He's taking on John Makdessi, 18-8 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off the decision loss Dude, Nasrat Haqparast, dude, we get it together. We're at work. We are at work. Get it together. Suck it up. Jamie Mullarkey is an eyebrow-less man, but he is a well-rounded fighter. He can wrestle. He averages about 3 takedowns per fight. He can strike. He's got those 2 knockouts.
I'm fucking balling, dude. I'm fucking balling. I did not expect that at all. Oh, shit. Nice one. That was good.
Thank you so much. But I would not say that Jamie Mullarkey is great anywhere. He is primarily a grappler, though. He's been more active the last few years with his striking, but he's coming off that second-round knockout loss to Muhammad Naima, where he did get the wrestling going, and his striking volume was pretty solid, but he had no power and absolutely no chin and negative eyebrows, if that's possible. He's taking on John Makdessi. This guy's a volume striker. He's got solid takedown defense. He's technical. He relies on his pace. He likes to start the exchanges with his hands. He wants to end them with low kicks. He's a short, compact guy, so movement is everything for him. If you can take away his legs, you can take away a lot of his success. He's coming off that loss to Nasrat Haqparast, where he did have the volume. Jod had the volume there, but he was taken down. He was knocked down. I take notes watching all these fights, or the ones that I can watch live. I take the notes. And I just write down exactly what I'm feeling or thinking in the moment. My notes on Jamie Mullarkey's last fight were literally just sucks. That's the only thing I wrote. And the problem is, what Jamie is, he does have some power in his hands. He does have some takedowns. He has all of these individual tools, but none of them are great. He doesn't have great takedowns. He doesn't have great strike. So he's just got all these pieces in a pretty good package, and he's able to win some fights. He's definitely going to win this fight, but minus 280. I mean, and that's even a discount on the minus 350 he opened up as. I'm not spending it. I'm not taking the risk because, yes, he's the much younger fighter. We'll see the stats here. He's the much younger fighter, the taller fighter. He's all the things, but I still don't think it's going to be – I don't think he's worth the money that they're putting out there, but I do think Jamie Mullarkey wins. What do you think, Jamie boy?
I mean, fuck, man. Great-looking guy. I think that's the first thing that comes to mind every time I'm watching one of his fights. Every time I'm going through my nightly Instagram profiles, he is in the rotation, right? So I'm on the Instagram, I'm looking at it. I just can't, for some reason, I'm just fucking attracted to this guy, man. I can't keep my eyes off. I just lock in, lock into that graphic right now, right into those eyes right now. And tell me you can't just not look away. He just sucks you in with those things. But yeah, he should win this fight, right? This is a fight that Jamie Mullarkey should win, just because John Makdessi, he is tough. He's probably going to be there for all 3 rounds. It's probably going to be a decision win for Jamie. And Jamie is a guy that does make mistakes. He does get wild. He does get clips. He can get caught up in firefights. His last fight, that knockout was not like a normal, in the course of throwing an exchange knockout in the middle of the octagon. If you watch that back, it was very weird. He went to level change, and then it looked like he changed his mind, but then froze, and his hands were just low, and he was crouched in front of this guy, and the guy looked at him and was like, whap. It was a very weird knockout. But he did get knocked out. I just don't think John possesses that power anymore. I mean, maybe if this was John from 5-8 years ago, I think this is definitely a very, very close fight because John's tough. He knows when he's losing. He knows when to be aggressive. I just don't think he has the same pop. Not that he was a big knockout artist anyway. I think his last knockout was 2015, 2016, something like that. It's been a while. Jamie can get clipped, but he should be able to mix in a takedown attempt or two. John's got really good takedown defense. I don't know if he's going to get
it. Very good. And he's short, which...
Right. I fucking hate short people. But Jamie should, just to mix it, just to change, right? Just to get him thinking about it. He can do that, once or twice around. Lay enough power, lay enough volume. Jamie's always, he's a tough dude. He's always active in the octagon, and he's always fun to watch. That's for sure. So he's my pick. I feel good about it.
I hear you. I mean, I'm fairly confident that Jamie's going to win this fight, but I definitely a little hesitant to touch anything that resembles those odds because John Makdessi's still of the 2 of them, only one of them was knocked out unconscious in their last fight. You know what I mean? And Jamie
John was clipped,
and he survived. And John was fighting one of the better guys on the roster. So you know what I mean. And meanwhile, Jamie was put out by a new prospect. So anyway,
but what a normal knockout.
He was knocked out. The setup was weird.
Yeah, but
it wasn't
wasn't like it was an exchange, and it was just you could tell he was he made a mistake there. and we don't make mistakes twice in a row. Fool me once.
Sure.
Can't get fooled again.
Anyway, are you going to spend the $8,900? The only way he can be worth that is if he gets the takedowns, which he's not going to get $8,900 worth of takedowns.
My eyes are a little bit wild in that picture. Someone said Jacob looks like he's slizzard in that graphic.
You know what that picture's from?
Oh, that's from
Texas OU.
Yeah, so yeah, depending on what quarter it was.
No, you see how tall Jacob is trying to stand? That's because he was standing next to my cousin who was like a gymnast, and she's 5'11", and you were trying to stand tall next to Alex.
I was way taller than her.
I have the whole picture. Don't make me put up the whole picture.
I was way taller, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you think that, but that's what you're doing. You're standing up tall and like trying to be tall.
Great posture. People are making fun of John's posture.
Anyway, I'm not spending $8,900. I imagine you're not. It's tricky, man. I just keep saying no to all these super expensive fighters.
This could be Jamie could be a sneaky DraftKings play. If he gets a couple takedowns, and John did get dropped in his last fight. Jamie, I mean, when he throws, that dude fucking throws heat, man. I mean, there's some swings where he is like a fucking top. He'll swing and miss and fucking start spin. He swings hard, man. I wouldn't be surprised he knocks John out.
Yeah, it'll be a good moment for Jamie if he gets a big win like that, because he had a couple of knockouts a few fights ago, but outside of that, we haven't really seen it. He will be at home. A lot of things going on. Yes, Baby Red.
I just want to make a quick point here because I know that we do have female viewers, and this is a very important point to make. Notice, and because I have to deal with it as well. I know you guys, you go, or you ladies, you go to the bars, you go to the clubs, you get all this attention because all the female watchers of this channel are all fucking beautiful. I know that for a fact. So you go out and you're worried about your drink being spiked. I do the same thing, right? I go out and I'm worried about, what, I'm a good looking guy. And there's girls that would do it to me. There's other guys that would do it. Angelo's tried to do it before me. So if you notice my hand positioning on my cup in that picture, that is going to be your go-to when you're walking around the bars, when you walk around the clubs. See, I mean, you still got access to your straw, but you got everything covered. I just want to point that out. It's very important. People like you don't have to deal with attention like that, but beautiful people, it's tough.
Thank you so much.
Stay safe.
You really saved a lot of people out there. WeWantPicks.com. Become a premium member. The amount of things that you're going to get for that is absolutely incredible. Sign up now. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's only $10 a month. $5 super chat from Joey T. How's it going, everybody? We can thank We Want Picks for getting special guest Jamie Mullarkey to help the breakdown this week. Yes, thank you so much, Jamie, for joining us. We appreciate you. I don't know what happened to your accent.
Oh, strip on the bobby.
Nope. Next, well, that's the other thing with this stupid dog. First, I didn't want a dog. I don't want a dog. Anybody who watched my quick picks 2 weeks ago knows how that even started.
You should name it Chepe.
My Chippy? That's the name of the elf on the shelf elf. Anyway.
Chepe. I never understood that,
Chepe.
by the way. I see all the pictures on Facebook and stuff every holiday. So you just convince your kids that this elf at night goes and does weird shit? That's the whole point?
Not goes and does weird shit. The point of the elf is Santa sends him
it's
down.
It's not funny. I've got school. It's not funny. You know what video I'm talking about?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch.
When they convince, but the girl's got the most wild fucking English accent. I've got school. It's not funny. I'm gonna play it.
No, the point is the elf, Santa sends the elf to keep an eye on all the kids right before Christmas, and every night he goes back up and he tells Santa if they were good or bad.
I've got school.
School?
I'm not laughing. I've got school.
Nah, it's not funny. I've got school.
But that's the point of the elf, and then it evolved into like, ooh, look at the mischievous stuff he did. But it is great because around Christmas time, while my kids still believe in that, it's like, hey, Chippy's watching. So if this is how you want to act, Chippy's watching, and you know he's going to fly home and tell Santa. So
when I was a kid,
whatever you want to do,
it was just you were just worried about Satan. Just good old Satan. I was just old school.
Good old fashioned.
It was just old school with it.
What you should.
You're going to go to fucking hell. You keep acting like this.
What you should have been worried about is that guy across the street that lets you go in his basement to watch Titanic.
I never went in there, but
you said you did.
Thank God, no, it wasn't me. It was my sister and the other girl, and but the mom went with it, and it was like a weird situation. I didn't learn about that until like last year. I'm like, you did what? But it was fucking, that guy was definitely a fucking certified weirdo, and I'm just praying that I don't unlock a memory one day.
It's gonna happen on the channel. I'm gonna make a weird.
I'll just be sitting here also just.
I'm gonna like make a joke, or my chair's gonna creak like that creeps rocking chair, and then it's gonna all come rushing back.
Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah. Anyway, next up at UFC 293, we've got Jack Jenkins taking on Chepe Mariscal. Jack Jenkins, 12-2 overall, 5-0 in his last 5. He is riding a 9-fight win streak. He's taking on Chepe Mariscal, 14-6 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's riding a 4-fight win streak and coming off a win in his UFC debut. This actually, I said actually, as I don't know why I said actually, but this could be the fight of the night. Both of these guys are willing to go out there and bang. Both of them can get into an actual fight. And I'm actually looking forward to this one. This card's a bit mediocre, but this fight should be very, very good.
What a casual.
Shut the hell up. Jack Jenkins, this guy's a solid striker. He's got very real power, good takedown defense. He's going to pressure forward, back you up against the cage, and then from there, he'll look for some control. Overall, he is a powerful guy, and he can win a fight multiple ways. People like to highlight his striking, that he's got 3 fights in the UFC. You know, he's doing really well. He's wild leg kicks. He broke a guy's leg on the regional scene.
Oh, my God.
But he's got far more than just striking. Those 3 fights in the UFC, he has 9 takedowns total. He's coming off that win over Jamal Emmers. Win is in quotes. He definitely lost that fight. And if you remember, do you remember what the live odds were at the
I remember. I remember
round?
live odds, but I just rewatched that fight, and I was like, I mean, round 1 and 2 were like extremely close, and Jack actually had the striking numbers in both. He obviously got smothered in the 3rd round, but those first 2 rounds are pretty close. I thought Jamal won. I had money on Jamal, but when I rewatched it, I was like, it was a pretty close fight.
Yeah, I think he lost, but yes, I hear you.
I think he lost too, but I don't think he was robbed.
The odds makers did not think it was a close fight. At the end of the 3rd round, like the fight's over, and they leave the odds for like, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute. And then it's just, go ahead and bet it before the scorecard. Jamal Emmers was a minus 1,700 favorite. A massive favorite, and he still lost that fight. He's taking on Chepe Mariscal. Chepe can do everything. This guy has an incredible resume. He's got BJJ championships, kickboxing champions. He's a collegiate wrestler, and most of that resume says grappler. Oh, BJJ champion, college wrestler. Oh, he must be a grappler. But the reality is he's willing to engage. He will bomb away, and he has no problem getting into a firefight. We just saw that in his last fight with Trevor Peek. He has fought some high-level competition throughout his career before the UFC. His last fight was a short-notice UFC debut at 155 pounds. He won that fight. He looked pretty good doing it, especially on short notice. Both Jacob and I picked him to win, and obviously we were very glad that he did. Before the UFC, he fought some Chepe.
Oh, I was all over Trevor Peek at that fight.
Oh, you were? Oh, I was all over Chepe. And I had
no. I think that was. I think I might have lost money to you on that fight.
Oh, for some reason I thought you picked him too. Oh, well, I did.
No.
What I was going to mention is before he made it to the UFC, he did fight some UFC caliber guys. They were losses. He lost to every single one of them, though. He got knocked out by Steve Garcia. The Joe Anderson Brito knockout was one of the worst I've ever seen. But he did come out there. He did fight on short notice, up a weight class, and he looked fantastic. Chin held up. He was gritty. He was throwing bombs, staying in his face, didn't slow down at all, and showed that this guy does belong in the UFC. I am surprised to see that Chepe is a 2-1 underdog. He's got all the wrestling. He showed us in that last fight. He showed us how tough he can be. Not only did he out-wrestle Trevor Peek, he outstruck him too, and he did that up a weight class on short notice. Chepe can be the real deal. We'll see how good he's actually going to be, like long-term. In my quick picks video, I likened this to when, who's Sean Strickland's buddy there? The little black guy. Hits hard. Chris Curtis.
Little?
For 85, he's small. Okay. Chris Curtis showed up into the UFC at 185 pounds, knocked out a bunch of killers super fast, and was like, oh shit, how good is this guy? And that could be Chepe. right? He could come in here and all of a sudden string together a bunch of wins. I just don't think that's going to happen. To compare the performance he had against Trevor Peek, who barely had a couple of MMA fights, had none of the skill but all the tenacity, to somebody like Jack Jenkins, who can out-wrestle people, who can out-strike people, who has those deadly leg kicks. You're doing yourself a disservice to make that comparison. I think Jack Jenkins wins this fight. I think Jack Jenkins lights up Chepe's legs, and I think Jack Jenkins takes away that movement and gets it done. So I like Jack Jenkins here, but I would love if Chepe was turned into that Chris Curtis. The kid, undersized. I mean, he was fighting at he came up at 185 to fight Phil Hughes, who's one of the biggest guys in that division. You don't agree?
I don't know. Why do we talk about Chris Curtis? I don't know why we're talking
because
about
this
Chris
feels
Curtis.
Very similar to that. This feels very similar.
I know, but
you
you started getting real specific about it. I didn't know what the hell.
Because I'm waiting for that to happen. Like, I think Jack's going to win, but I'm waiting for this to be his. He showed up, short notice, win, beat Brendan Allen, beat Phil, beat all these, or Hawes, not Hughes, beat Brendan Allen, beat Phil, beat all of these people that he wasn't supposed to beat. And it's like, holy shit, Chepe could do that, but I can't pick him. I like Jack Jenkins to get it done.
Yeah, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final but core piece of the Mexican Blood Fly parlay, and that is going to be Chepe. I'm telling you right now, everyone, you're going to hear it all week. I'm sure you've heard it already. If you're in the Discord, if you guys are looking at Twitter, whatever, Jack Jenkins and these leg kicks. Oh my God, he's got all these leg kicks. He got a leg kick. Look what he did to Jamal Emmers, and he was lighting up the legs of Jamal Emmers in that last fight. No idea why Jamal Emmers didn't wrestle until the third round. We saw very clearly what happens when somebody is a better grappler than Jack Jenkins. He is flat on his back. He is clueless. He is a fish out of water. And without those leg kicks, that's what he becomes. Without the leg kicks, he's just a normal guy. Yeah, he's very tough. Yeah, he is a pretty good boxer, but he's not like an elite level boxer. He doesn't like when people are in his face. He doesn't like pressure. Guess what Chepe is? Chepe is a guy that gets in your face. He will turn this into a brawl. He will turn this nasty. And everyone talks about the leg kicks. The guy that Chepe has trained with over and over and over and over again is Justin Gaethje, another guy who has incredible leg kicks, probably better leg kicks than Jack Jenkins. And what that Justin Gaethje does so well, that Jack Jenkins also does well, is finish combos with leg kicks, and also in the pocket, he's really good at landing leg kicks. But he's seen this in training, in sparring. Yeah, it's different when it's live, and it's not going to be the same power, because in sparring, when they have the shin pads on and this and that. But he's seen the looks. He's been in there with light sparring, with regulars, with Justin Gaethje, getting him ready for fights. He knows if there's anyone prepared enough for leg kicks, it's going to be Chepe. And Chepe also has some nasty, nasty leg kicks of his own. He dropped Trevor Peek with the leg kick. So don't think this is just one thing that Jack Jenkins can do, and then he's just going to do it, and that's how he's going to win the fight, because he's not going to be able to do it. Chepe's going to be in his face. He's going to get him to the ground. He's going to be on top of him, and then Jack Jenkins just becomes a normal dude. Yes, he is very good at leg kicks. You take it away, he is just a normal guy. Chepe, in his last fight, out-dogged a complete fucking dog in Trevor Peek. Trevor Peek is a fucking tough-ass dude, is nonstop. And Chepe went in there short nose and out-dogged that guy. I fucking love people that just come in and God, I just fucking love dogs, man. People that, you know how many times I've sat here and watched fights on streams, and people look like they just don't even give a fuck in the fight. Like, oh, I'm losing, but who cares? Chepe is not one of those guys. He's going to come forward. He's going to be there. If he starts getting lit up, he's just going to fucking go for it, man. I love those guys. Chepe's the pick. I think he smokes Jack Jenkins.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to, it's a hard argument for me because I think Jack Jenkins wins. I think I was surprised to see Chepe as a 2-1 dog, but I totally understand why Jack Jenkins would be a 2-1 favorite, if that makes sense. I know that it's a contradictory
statement. He's going to get on top of
statement.
this guy, and he's just going to rain down on him. Jackson give up his back. He might submit him. I mean, he's going to get the takedowns. And
But
then
you're comparing that.
Jack Jenkins was fully mounted by Don Shanis. What the fuck?
A tough, gritty Northeast guy.
Yeah, fucking. And then he was just fucking completely outworked and outclassed in the third round by Jamal Emmers. That was a close fight, and he got outworked. That could have been 1-1. And guess what? He was flat on his back for the entire third round of that fight. Didn't give a fuck. So he's a tough dude, but he's got outworked before.
Yeah, here's the problem with you're leaning very heavily on what Chepe did to Trevor Peek, who's not very good. And then you're using, he trains with Justin Gaethje as like the defense to anything else. How many people have we seen train with phenomenal fighters that absolutely suck? How many people have we seen?
It's about just getting the looks. I guarantee that most people that train and they do the sparring and stuff don't see a lot of leg kicks. They're probably not, but that's a core of Justin Gaethje's game. So when he's in there live sparring, getting ready for fights, that's what he is going to be doing. And Chepe has been getting Justin ready for fights over and over again. So he was just training him for Poirier. Guess what he was doing against Poirier? Landing kicks. He's been in there, receiving it, being the sparring partner. He's seen the looks time and time again. I'm not saying that means he can't get hit by him. I'm not saying that doesn't mean he can't get hurt by him. But if there's anyone that's ready for the leg kicks, in theory, it should be Chepe.
Yeah, I'm on the other side. I'm happy to take your fucking money from you over it, honestly.
Oh, now you're gonna act confident because you were like,
No.
Now it's like, Anton wants to get his big boy chest out. Peacock chest.
You're just so adamant. Like you don't even
smoke him.
You don't even. Yeah, I was gonna say you don't even see how Jack could win this fight, and because of that,
if the first leg kick lands. If the first leg kick lands and he snaps Chepe's legs in half, then great. That's how he wins.
Like when you picked what's her name and her arm exploded. Same energy, same exact energy from Jacob. And she was taken down immediately and her arm explodes.
Imagine he does just snap his leg on the first kick.
What was that? What was her name? Was that Natalia Silva? No, yeah. No,
what was her name? Estela Nunes.
Estela Nunes, that's right. Same exact energy. Oh, she's in Estela Nunes. Come on, boom, arm snaps clean in half immediately.
He's gonna maul this guy.
I'll bet you. I'll throw up a bet openly. Why don't you throw out the bet openly?
You can't figure it out, huh?
No, because I'm doing this while.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I forgot that I'm not doing this. Look, I just already have it created right now while I'm talking. So the fact that you can't do two things at once is concerning to say the least. A little bit of dementia.
Just a touch. But I'm not the one who forgot that Chepe barely beat Trevor Peek. Okay.
I mean, he doubled his strikes and had like 4 or 5 takedowns. What do you mean barely beat? It was a 30-27 decision.
You're right.
Wasn't even close.
I forgot that Trevor Peek was.
He was an undefeated fighter with 8 finishes. He was 8-0 with 8 finishes.
Wow. Well, this should be easy money for you then.
I mean, I'm coming in. I was very high on Trevor Peek in that fight. I was like, okay. And I saw the fucking what Chepe can do. I mean, Jesus Christ, that guy's a fucking. He doesn't stop,
now you're all aboard the Chepe. I picked him last fight. I bet on him last fight. I'm not the biased one, so I get it. I get it.
That's called it's called treason.
Okay, yeah. I bailed on him. Anyway, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. You'll unlock everything you have ever needed and more for only $10 a month. Just go to WeWantPicks.com. Click the button at the top of the page, and you will instantly have access to picks, bets, tools, information, insight, and more. DraftKings, $7,500 for Chepe. I actually think that probably is good value because if you do think he gets the takedowns, if you do think that he can push that pace, then he's great value. But if you think Jack Jenkins is going to control the striking, take out the legs, touch up Chepe and get it done, well then Jackie Boy at 87 is somewhat of a discount as well. Like I said, Chepe a 2-1 dog seems a little wide. Jack Jenkins is a 2-1 favorite. Doesn't. I know that's a contradictory statement, but I'm here.
I'm trying to make this, but they need to know my location because I guess Chrome updated and it's just I can't figure it out.
Isn't that convenient?
I literally do you know how to change your location to allow location on Chrome? I'm just clicking.
It's in the settings. I've had to do it before because all the fantasy sites do that too.
Oh God.
Next up at UFC 293, we got Carlos Ulberg taking on Jung. Carlos Ulberg, 8-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He is riding a 3-fight knockout win streak. He's taking on Jung, 15-4. 2-2-1 in his last 5. He's riding a 2-fight skid. Carlos Ulberg, like so many others on this damn card, is out of that city kickboxing gym. He was a former kickboxer that has transitioned into MMA. He's a very big guy. He's got incredible footwork, great range management. His striking differential is an impressive 8-3, and he has both a 100% takedown accuracy and defense. Takedown defense at 100% is a little misleading. He's only defended 2 takedowns, but he does do all the right things. His footwork keeps him out of trouble for the most part. He only MMA loss. You're gonna see 8-1, 4-1 in his last 5 in the UFC. The only MMA loss was to Kennedy and Chukwu. He was dominating that fight, and then just got blasted and lost. His most recent fight was a first-round knockout over Ihor Potieria, taking on Da-Un Jung. This guy's a technical striker, solid wrestling, good clinch work. He's very well-rounded, and he can win anywhere. If you go back to his win over William Knight, he had 8 takedowns and a ton of control time. In his win over Kennedy and Chukwu, he had fantastic striking, and he got that early knockout. We've seen him do everything well, but he is coming off back-to-back losses, but that was after a 16-fight unbeaten streak. This guy went 16 fights, unbeaten, super high prospect. Dustin Jacoby beat him. Then he just lost his last fight to Devin Clark, where Devin got the takedowns and the control time. I love Ulberg in this spot. I think he's shown us time and time again that his striking is elite. Jung is very good. He may work in some takedowns. Well, his first name is Da, and so I was like Da, and then I said Jung, so it just said Dung.
We were talking about dung beetles on the live stream Saturday. A lot of fun.
That's an odd thing to come up in a fight companion. Da-Un Jung can win this fight. If he comes out here with that same energy he did against William Knight, wrestle, pressure, he absolutely can. But if he comes out here thinking he's going to strike, like he did thought he could against Dustin Jacoby, it's going to be a short night. I think Carlos Ulberg is going to get the win. I like these odds. This line is tightening, and I think he'll be totally fine. We've obviously seen crazier things, but I think Carlos Ulberg is going to look great at home and absolutely get the win here. What do you think, Jakey boy?
I mean, the timing on this, absolutely incredible. I finally figured it out. I put the bet in the chat, in the private chat for you. Make sure you accept all. You have to put 177.78. Why is that funny?
I don't know why, because it's just it's a bigger bet than I expected, but I clicked max bet.
That's to win 100, and I have 100 to win 177.8.78 cents. But going back to this fight, I do like Ulberg, but I will say this: he's should be the better striker, right? I don't think there's any question about that. He should have the speed advantage. He might even have the power advantage, but the speed's going to be the big thing here. But if this leaves the first round, man, I'm going to be a little bit nervous because Da-Un Jung has shown before that he obviously can get knocked out, but he can be a durable guy. He can mix in some wrestling. He can withstand maybe maybe he just keeps his distance. And we've seen Ulberg, he just kind of dances and he takes his time and he takes his time. And the longer this fight goes, it is definitely not going to favor a guy like Carlos Ulberg because since that disaster with Kennedy, we still haven't really seen him tested in kind of the later rounds to see if he does still get tired. So Ulberg is going to be my pick. But if this gets, and I mentioned in my quick pick video, if Da-Un Jung, if his game plan is wrestling and he gets a takedown in the first minute or two, I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. I think Carlos is going to be able to get back to his feet, whatever. But if Carlos is landing some decent strikes and this gets late to the first round, into a minute left in the first round, and he gets taken down and he can't get back to his feet, I'm a little bit nervous. If this gets to the second round, it starts with a takedown from Da-Un Jung, and Carlos Ulberg is struggling to get back to his feet, I think it's time to fucking panic if you're on the Carlos Ulberg side. But with all that said, I put a bet on him to win the first round. I fully expect a big stationary guy like Da-Un Jung, who's going to be sitting on power, should be easy pickings for the speed and accuracy of Carlos Ulberg. But if he's able to eat some shots, watch out. But Ulberg's a pick, and with all that said, I bet him to win in the first round. So,
well, there you go. I know, just giving away the premium bets. I'm trying to take this whole bet, and it's not.
I bet
it's only letting me. It's only letting me throw down $40.
Oh, wow. Oh, deposit more funds, Angelo.
No, I have $900 in here because I've been absolutely dominating people.
Well, apparently it's frozen money of some sort.
I'll figure it out after. No, it's...
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
There's a button, My Max Bet, and it's just going up to 41 instead.
Well, yeah, well.
I'll figure it out. Anyway, I agree with you. I trust Carlos Ulberg a lot more than you do. But I absolutely think that Carlos Ulberg is going to get this done. Very confident in him. I just got a text from Josh saying, "Yep, just bet the dogs." I'm assuming that means Dana White Contender Series is a fucking hot mess again. You guys insist on betting on Contender Series fights, and then everybody is a sobby crybaby mess when these 3-1 favorites lose. Those are regional fights. How could you bet on a regional fight with two unknown guys?
Well, people think they're smarter than the books.
Or just bet the dogs, because I think what Josh and I were talking about is we're pretty sure if you just
Wait,
bet
what was the name that you came up with for your dog?
a dog name, you can't say it. It's like a kid name. You don't say it until it's done, because then people might disparage it. And plus, it's been changing constantly. She changes the name every 3 days. We don't even have that. I don't want the dog. I want nothing to do with it. Like, as it is, I don't sleep. The last thing I want is another creature. And then our other dog, the dog we have, is like an old piece of shit. So it's like he's just going to be the bad
Dog.
influence.
I will say, dog hating doesn't translate well over the internet. They're going to really drag you for that. You know, it's come across my TikTok a few times in the last few nights. Terrible. I watched the whole thing just to get to the end, but it's the guy that saves. I don't know what country he's in, but they eat dogs and they have him like bound up, like ready to be slaughtered and cooked up, and the guy goes in and buys the dogs and saves them and stuff. But just seeing them, it's like, oh, I don't know. Oh my God, I can't fucking imagine.
Yeah, no, that's brutal.
Oh,
no, I don't.
I literally just watch them just so I could see the happy ending, you know?
I love dogs, other people's dogs. Like
You like my dog?
I love dogs. I love other people's dogs. I cannot have more responsibility in my life. I have too much to do as it is. And then we're gonna bring in a freaking puppy. With like,
I literally should bring over Indy, and it'll set that dog straight. She doesn't fuck around, man. Well, I'm telling you, when she goes to the dog park, she's like, everyone
keeps dogs in line.
Keep in line, yeah. If they start running around, she'll fucking snap at them.
My biggest issue with getting a dog is our current dog is not a good dog. He's a good dog. He's not well behaved. He'll snatch food. Like, he's not going to bite you.
Someone said, give the dog to Israel Adesanya. He'll treat it real good. I don't know if you're seeing all this stuff coming out from that.
Does he not treat dogs well? What does that mean?
Oh, he treats them pretty well.
Wait, he had sex with a dog? What is happening? What's the implication?
There's like a video of him that resurfaced of him laying in bed with his dog or something. He like starts jerking it off or something like that. And then I think Guru just posted a video that Izzy on Twitter followed some girl that was like a fucking, I don't know what they call it, like acts like a dog or something like that. And everyone's like, the big thing now is like Izzy's got this like dog fetish.
Jesus Christ, dude, the internet's wild. Anyway, I think I'm going to end up loving the dog. It's going to be an adorable little puppy. It's one of these stupid fancy suburban dogs that doesn't shed. But my biggest issue isn't, because it'll take a month, a couple of weeks tops to get it fully trained, not piss in the house, all that. My dog wakes me up at 4 o'clock in the morning for food. Like, cries 10 times a day for this.
It'll get on his schedule. Yeah.
And then I signed up
like
for that.
It absolutely will. Years. Yeah, it absolutely will.
No,
but those dogs would be smart enough to retrain. I could retrain Indy to do anything at any point right now. She's still smart enough.
Not Scout, not my current dog. You can't retrain that.
You can teach an old dog new tricks. That's why we're trying to get you in shape, Angelo. We're trying to, even though you're an old dog, we still believe that we can teach you the ways.
It's funny because Tiffany literally tried to say, we could just teach Scout. I'm like, no, you literally can't. Like, that's the thing.
There's no chance.
You can't.
There's no chance with that dog. That is the one that you cannot teach that old dog any new tricks.
And it's like, it's brutal because he's slowing down. He's old. He's like 11. He's slowing down, but I also walk, 8, 9, 10 miles a day, something like that. So does the dog, or at least not in the dead summer, but he walks
let's see the stat right now, the walking stat right now.
The stat right now, let's see. The stat right now might...
I will say, while you're looking that up, I saw a TikTok today because you mentioned that he might have like dementia or something. There was a TikTok I saw today of a dog that does have doggy dementia, and the caption was... so-and-so, I don't know what the dog's name was, used to always love to play hide and seek, but now that he has doggy dementia, he doesn't realize that we can see him while he's hiding. And he's just like standing on the corner of a wall, and he can like see his entire body just staring at him, just like this, like they can't see me. Fucking, because he's got fucking dementia. Great dog.
So 8.7 miles. See it?
Looks like a screenshot.
It is not a screenshot. Whoop, 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 whoop. Anyway, stressing about this dog. It shows up on Sunday, which is really going to be brutal. Anyway,
Shows up. You got to delay to get Uber Eat that thing.
no, it's Tiffany's flying. Tiffany is flying to San Antonio to get this dog to fly it back.
Flying it back, huh?
That's what happens.
She's
when
just
you
so
buy...
starved for attention that she wants to walk to the airport with the new puppy because I've seen it before.
Well, the other alternative is to drive.
Everyone at the puppy. If you want easy dating advice, just get into that game. Get into the puppy transport game, which sounds like a bad. Honestly, it doesn't sound like a good thing. Yeah. Get into the child trafficking thing. And just,
I was gonna say, what's that movie?
Whoa.
The one that like went viral for it's all just about saving kids and it's that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. But
Sound
if you have a puppy in an airport, because nobody's got anything better to do, so everyone in the gate is like, "Oh my god, a fucking puppy!" I would just buy puppies and go to the airport. You'll meet anybody you want to meet.
They are cute, but I fully expect I'm not going to sleep anytime soon. That's it. My sleeping days they're over. They're over, and they weren't very good when they were here.
Right when the kids got old enough to.
Yeah.
There you go. Sleep, and now you lose your sleep again.
That's life. Let's move on. Next up at UFC 293, we have Tyson Pedro taking on Anton Turkalj. Tyson Pedro 9-4 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He is coming off the decision loss to Modestas Bukauskas. Taking on Anton Turkalj, 8-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He is riding a 2-fight skid. Tyson Pedro is primarily a grappler. He did find some power in the last year or so. He doesn't have the best takedowns, but he has no problem charging forward to get one. If you're going to overcommit to his strikes, he will drop, he will shoot a nice shot, and he will run right through it. Once he hits the ground, he is looking to strike more than he's looking to submit. But if you scramble or you try to work your way out, he's going to snatch something up. He is coming off that loss to Modestas Bukauskas where he was getting touched up on the feet. He did gas very, very hard, but he showcased his chin, and he did have a clean takedown or two before the end of that fight. Taking on Anton Turkalj. This guy's a fun, athletic guy. He can mix it up on his feet. He's got no problem taking risks. He's got really diverse striking where he's going to spin, he's going to kick, he's going to charge forward. He will mix all of it together really well. Not only is his striking fun, but he has aggressive takedowns, and his offensive BJJ is solid as well. He had 11 takedowns in his Contender Series fight. He had 5 in the fight of the night loss to Vitor Petrino. His pressure is incredible. That's what separates him from most people. He fights at a 100% pace. It doesn't matter if it's striking or grappling. I like Anton in this spot. I know Tyson Pedro's good. We literally just watched Anton get out grappled and lose his last fight, but we also watched Tyson gas real hard. And Anton's pace could absolutely exhaust Tyson Pedro and let him take over that fight. So I like Anton here. And I did throw a half a unit on him at minus 103. A little bit of Valalutz there. What do you think, Jakey Bangalots?
Doesn't it seem like Anton kind of laughs like that? Like he doesn't want to smile because he doesn't want to get wrinkles. So he goes.
I mean, who knows how he laughs? You sent me that picture of his OnlyFans, and he looks like he's got a real weird laugh.
I didn't send you anything about his OnlyFans, Angelo. Did you find that on your own? You stumbled across that, did you?
So am I going to pull up the text and show everybody that you were creeping in his OnlyFans?
You know, I think there's a lot that can happen with AI and Photoshop these days.
Yeah, I bet there is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stick with Tyson here, but obviously I don't feel great about it, right? Because you saw in that last fight, I think I picked him in his last fight too. I don't think I had money on him because we realized that Modestas was a guy that's been around the block, and he's had his own struggles, but I think we knew that could be a closer fight than what it ended up being or what other people would have thought it would have been. But 2 minutes left in that first round, it was like a uh-oh moment for Tyson Pedro fans. I mean, you saw him start fading. And hats off to him for hanging in there, right? But that's just on very short notice. He got tired as well, so that kind of saved him as well. But he did kind of hang tough in that moment. But he is very dangerous in the first round. Even in that first round, he did get the takedown. He was threatening to submission. Didn't have the control I'd like to see. But he has been a first-round finisher. And Anton, in his last fight versus Vitor, should have been finished in the first round. I mean, he was getting lit up, and for whatever reason, Vitor started wrestling. But even when he wasn't wrestling and he was landing the nice shots, and Anton was on skates and he was backing up, he went to the ground. There was one shot to finish that fight. He lands this random up kick on Vitor that kind of like dazes him, and that's what saves him. So Anton, yeah, he did kind of hang tough in that fight versus Vitor. He was getting out wrestled. There were some weird things that happened, but he should have been finished in the first round. And Tyson is a guy that finishes people in the first round. He does land some nice strikes. Anton was pretty much put out in the first round of his last fight. I'm going to stick with Tyson. You know, I'm not betting money line. I'm not betting. What I have for him is strictly first round, because if he doesn't win the first round, I don't think he can win this fight. But I think he finds a way to get it done. Anton's not that great. And Tyson, in front of the home fans, you know, I think he knows he let one get away from him, and that was in front of the home fans. He probably felt a little bit embarrassed. So I think he comes out aggressive and finds it.
Yeah, I just think that Anton's better than his UFC record, frankly. I think Anton, who he lose to? Almeida, who could be heavyweight champ this time next year.
Jalton's going to get smoked by Curtis Blades, by the way.
And then he lost to Vitor Petrino, who's super big, super tough, super fast, athletic, all the things. And that was a somewhat close fight. It was certainly a fight of the night type fight. So I just think, hold on, I got to hide this dude from the channel, leaking the safety parlay. Anyway, I think Anton Turkalj can get it done. I think that Vitor fight showed us a lot about him, including how tough he is, how gritty he is. That pressure is fantastic. That pace is fantastic. I absolutely think Anton can get it done. That's why I threw a half a unit, not a ton. I get the Tyson Pedro love here, but I did throw some on him for that reason. You're not worried about, you did mention first round, all that crap. I mean, the cardio is the real issue, and Anton's got like cardio, legit cardio.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like Tyson got a little bit embarrassed by that last fight, and people, I believe in people, Angelo. That's what it comes down to.
There you go. Well, good for you. You going to spend the $8,000 on Tyson Pedro? I mean, if he wins, he's going to be worth it first round, you're talking.
Nope.
And there's that confidence that people love.
I didn't bet him, that's for sure. He could have been lock of the week. If I felt real good about him, I would have put him as lock of the week. I'll tell you right now, he is not the lock of the week.
Well, there you go. Well, that was a fucking weird-ass laugh. $8,200 for Anton Turkalj.
Take it up with him.
I may. I think you have a couple of other beefs to grind with him, though. Anton Turkalj, 11 takedowns in that Contender Series fight. If this fight looks like that one, which I don't necessarily think it will, he's going to score so many points. $8,200 might actually be worth it. I'll take a closer look and then go from there, guys. If you want to unlock the safety parlay, which is hitting at about a 70% clip, which is 8 for the last 10 events, well, you can now at WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member, and that $10 is going to unlock everything for this card, including the tools, the bets, the information, the insight, and all of the things.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Next up, at UFC 293, we've got the rematch. The biggest rematch of the year, and they put it on the best pay-per-view of the year. We got Justin Tafa taking on Austen Lane. Justin Tafa, 6-3 overall, 2-2-1 in his last 5. He is riding a 2-fight knockout streak before the eye poke no contest with Austen Lane. Austen Lane, 12-3 overall, 4-0-1 in his last 5. He's riding a 6-fight win streak. He was riding a 6-fight win streak into that eye poke. As I mentioned, there was an eye poke. These guys just fought a couple of months ago, less than 30 seconds into the fight. It was 29 seconds into the fight. Austin's finger goes straight into Justin's eye, real bad, to the point where Justin's like, uh-oh, like I'm going to need surgery. This was more than a regular eye poke. And then that was it. That's all we saw. I will say, when I watched it live, I remember thinking, Austin's looking good. Justin seems to be having trouble with it. And I had those thoughts, and Josh, our web guy, texted the same thing, like just this week. And I had those thoughts, and then this past week when I went through the notes and the pick for this, I remember thinking, I might go against Justin Tafa here.
Tafa, dude, I fucking hate that you say Tafa.
That's just how I say it.
That's how I should say it. If anyone says it like that, it should be me talking about Justin Tafa.
I'm not saying Ta, it's Ta. Tafa.
No, it is
Tafa.
Tafa. You're saying Tafa. You say Tafa.
Now I don't know how to say it because we've said it all the ways. Anyway, but then this week I'm like, oh man, it was 29 seconds. Then I rewatched it. It's like, yeah, Austen looked athletic, looking like he's doing stuff, but Justin's just a lumbering guy, and that's what he is. Justin Tafa is I do say Tafa. Justin Tafa is a lumbering heavyweight striker. He's got big power, a really good chin. When he gets his kicks going, those are solid as well. He's got no takedowns. He's also never been taken down. He's going to swing. You're not going to get fancy footwork. He's not going to be the fastest guy, but he'll come forward, he'll set it up, and he'll throw big, heavy punches. If he lands, you got a big problem. You can beat him if you dance around, you touch him up, and you just have to stay busy the entire fight. He's taking on Austen Lane. Austen Lane is the opposite of Justin. Justin, not a fast, athletic, good footwork guy. Austen Lane is. He's a former NFL player. He started his MMA career about 8 years ago. He's a big guy. He's powerful. He's athletic. He's been competing at the highest level of sports for his entire life for the most part. He's fast for his size. He's going to jump in, throw a bunch of strikes, and then jump back out. He can grapple. He's going to use his size, his athleticism. He's going to get you to the ground. In most cases, he seems to prefer to grapple. He doesn't really want to be banging on the feet. He is faster, stronger, more athletic than most of the heavyweight division. We only saw 29 seconds of the last fight. There's not a ton to go off. And that's what makes this fight, I don't want to say tricky, but I'm just going to
Would
same
you
pick
say
as last
it's a little
time.
bit slippery?
No, I would not say that. Anyway, I think Justin's going to be patient. I think Justin's going to land fewer total strikes. He'll get hit more than he hits, and then he'll find that big punch. He'll find the connection. He'll get it done. I think Austin's going to struggle. If he thinks he's going to take Justin down, I think he's going to struggle with that. Those big, wide legs, those big hips.
Those Samoan legs.
Dude, and I have the headphones in, so like every disgusting breath
like
coming
that
in and
bass.
out.
Sit on the subwoofer, Angelo.
Okay. We all saw Private Parts growing up. Anyway, I think Justin's going to get it done. He was the pick last time. He's still going to be the pick. This line has been yo-yoing. Open at minus 211. He was minus 250 on Sunday. Now he's down to minus 200. For your reference, the last fight closed at minus 225. So, what are you laughing at now?
$4.99 from New York Rental. He says, "Don't be mad because
Why don't you do your breakdown?
Don't be mad. New York Rentals $4.99 says, "Don't be mad because both Tafa bros ran a train on your boy Porter." Talking about Parker Porter. Got knocked out by both of them.
Go ahead. What was your pick of the fight?
Let that digest just for a second here.
I don't understand how making fun of my personal friend for going out there and trying to.
I'm not. I didn't say anything. I just
funny thing.
I didn't know if you wanted to thank him for the donation. That's what I was waiting for. I didn't say anything. I was waiting for you. Thank you for the donation, New York Rental. That's a good $4.99. Did you want to thank him?
I would rather send it back. Honestly, go ahead.
Break down back. His voice is breaking. You're having like flashbacks to him getting knocked out. Yeah. I mean, this is a heavyweight fight. Heavyweight fights. Usually people get knocked out. Justin Tafa knocks people out. I mean, when I watch Austen Lane, we've broken down this fight before, so I don't want to go too in depth, and it is what it is. When I watch him strike and I watch him, he crashes in. That's the big thing to me. When he wants to lay on power, he will outside, but when he wants to lay on power, it's not from the outside with long extended shots. He will footwork crash in, because if he doesn't land the shot, he will turn that into a takedown attempt. We saw with others,
say others.
With PP, we
Others.
saw with PP that when you crash in, that's not a good situation. Tafa's going to have something ready for you. I think that's as simple as this. Austin's eventually going to crash in, and Tafa's going to have the shot, man. So I'm going Tafa here, but it's heavyweights. It is what it is. I hope he wins. It'll be fun in front of the home fans.
For entertainment purposes, I agree. I actually do have a little heavyweight parlay, just a half a unit, just because heavyweights are risky. But I do have a heavyweight parlay. For me, that's fine. We got a $7.99 from Giddy Up, Justin Tafa Fat Dough. Thank you for the $8 super chat, and the.
He said Ant was breathing heavy. Oh, heavyweights.
Geez, stop, dude. Like, people are literally going to watch this for the first. It's a pay-per-view week, a lot of new eyes, and they're going to be like, nope.
Angelo, please put your fat finger down.
My fat finger.
It's a quote from Heavyweights. It relates. Great movie.
Okay. Yeah, no, I get it now.
You know what I got today? You're going to love this, and this is a nice break in the action.
I'm not
nice
done. Let's finish. No,
we're
right
not
here. Done with this yet. We're not done with this yet. White Castle chicken wings?
Chicken.
Oh, frozen.
Rings.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
wings.
I said rings. I said rings.
No, you said wings, but
I have a list.
I saw those today, and I'm like, hell yeah. I'm going to eat the whole bag here in about a half hour.
I'm going to get you pregnant. Anyway, 9,000. That's what people say to delicious foods. No? Is that a me thing? Nobody's ever threatened to get a Shamrock Shake pregnant before? No? All right. Justin Tafa, $9,000 in DraftKings. He probably is going to be worth that money. I will, these are heavyweights. Anything can happen. We watched Justin Tafa get smoked by Jared Vanderaa with just footwork. Austin Lane is way more athletic and faster than Jared Vanderaa. I don't think he has Jared's chin, though. I think that is the difference. But if he can dance around the same way that Jared did, then Austin Lane runs away with this fight. All Jared Vanderaa did to beat Justin Tafa was stay on the outside and just chip away. Just dance around, chip away. And he won that fight, no problem. Anyway, WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 a month. You unlock everything you have ever needed to make money watching fights, to have fun watching fights, to have the tools, the insight, the information at your fingertips. You can even link your Discord to get instant alerts to your phone when we place bets, when we make picks. All the things, WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member. What are you laughing at?
Dylan says see more butts, which is from Heavyweights. What did they do, a roll call or something? He's like, where's see more butts? And then the big dude's like, nobody's seen more butts than you. That's so funny. Oh shit.
Yeah, good times. Next up at UFC 293, we have the featured fight of the evening. We have Manel Kape taking on Felipe Dos Santos. Manel Kape, 18-6 overall. 3-2 in his last 5. He is riding a 3-fight win streak. He's taking on Felipe Dos Santos, 7-0. 7-0 overall. He's 4-0 in his last 5. And that was after a handful of canceled Contender Series fights. So this is his UFC debut. It's a tough debut because Manel Kape is a fast and explosive striker. He's got no issues chasing knockouts. He is a southpaw. He's got good pressure. He's going to bounce in and out of range really, really well. He's a decent wrestler as well when he needs to be, and he closes distance when he wants to. He's very fun to watch, but at times he's having a little too much fun playing some games out there, making maybe not the best decisions, but he is coming off that win over David Dvorak, where even though he was taken down twice, he landed more strikes and had a knockdown. Taking on Felipe Dos Santos. Just all I need to see is the haircut and the country, and I know exactly how this guy fights. He's a shoot-a-box fighter. He looks the part with the hair, and he fights the part. He fights exactly like a shoot-a-box fighter. He's aggressive. He's dangerous. He's good everywhere. He's going to come forward. But like most shoot-a-box fighters, he's also very hittable. He likes the pressure. He's going to throw everything, but he can be hit. And that leaves him open for counters. It leaves him open for takedowns. He is capable on the ground. He does have takedowns, but they're not great. And, he does slow down as fights go on. He's going to take chances. They don't always work out for him. Felipe's obviously a dangerous guy. He has a very clear path to victory. Just stay in Manel's face, get super dangerous, get a couple of takedowns and work from there. But Kape should be able to control the range, the pace, and be the far more technical striker. Felipe's forward pressure is probably going to work against him. He's going to get lit up. So I like Manel Kape here. I love him. And even minus 370 feels pretty good for somebody like him. What do you think, Jakey Bubba Boy?
Yeah, I kind of feel bad because I've been the one kind of pumping the shoot-a-box people, and they've really kind of let us down lately. Typical,
they're too hittable.
Yeah, typically they are, very, very high-level people. And I think that Felipe is he's really, really good. When I'm watching him, only 22 years old, and he fights like a 22-year-old. He is aggressive. He is nonstop. If you watch his last fight in the LFA, the first 2.5 minutes of that fight, if you could pause it at 2:30 and you would have placed a bet on whether this fight goes the distance, I would have put $100,000 that fight was not going to go the distance. But they did that shit for fucking 3 rounds. That pace was incredible. His takedowns were great. His striking is good. But unfortunately, against a guy like Manel Kape, that just plays so well into what Manel does, because Manel has gotten in trouble before when people aren't active enough in the fights, because he will play that game. He will play I'm waiting to counter. If they're not going to throw strikes, we'll just draw this out, and I'll hope to win a decision. He's lost fights because of that. But against a guy like Felipe, this should be a great matchup for Manel Kape. And let me preface this as well. I don't know if I have ever picked a Manel Kape fight right, for whatever reason. Every time I pick him, he loses. Every time I pick against him, where I pick against him a lot, obviously because he's got a lot of wins, he wins. I have not been completely sold on this guy because of all the antic stuff. Even the embedded today, I almost fell because I thought my desk was going to be right there, and I missed my desk. Even today on the embedded, he's whipping I'm just fucking blood everywhere. He's whipping the Ferrari
your
around.
Fake teeth rip right through those stupid lips.
He's whipping the Rari around Australia and stuff. He just seems so full of himself. But he keeps winning, and I think this is a good matchup for him. I don't think he should have any issues. There could be moments where it's like, okay, Felipe's all in his face, but Manel's he's good. He's experienced. He should be able to kind of weather that early storm of the young kid and find that counter shot, or maybe find something weird on the ground too. He knows what he's doing on the ground. So I am going Manel Kape here, but I like Felipe, man. I like those shooter box guys. They're always fun to watch,
Yeah. It's just crazy that an entire gym fights the exact same way and has been for 20 years. I mean, it all started with Vanderlei Silva, and they all fight the exact same way. There's not much has changed. Vanderlei was the most violent of them all. So that,
the striking is because a lot of people come out of a lot of camps and they're all in the same camp. But it would be like, could you imagine if everyone that came out of ATT strikes the same? No, they're all different. Or Kill Cliff or whatever. It literally is carbon fucking copies. It's wild.
It is crazy. Everybody does the exact same thing. But so we're both on the Manel Kape side. I do think I will spend the $9,300. Of all the expense, I can't see the comments yet, so I don't know what I'm waiting. What's waiting for me? But of all the expensive $9,000 plus fighters on the card, I trust Manel the most. He has the lowest level of competition compared to the highest level of, he's a very good high level fighter, and he's fighting a UFC debut with only 7 fights and only 22 years old. So I think that gap is perfect for a line like this. I'm going to spend that money. Are you going to spend that money in DraftKings?
Someone said.
No, let me just answer this, and then we can look at the
Someone
comments.
said Angelo's shaped like Humpty Dumpty, and then someone said it's Egolo. It's so funny.
And DraftKings, what's your?
I might take Manel. I'm undecided, man, because it feels like he should be able to finish this kid. I know he's tough, but Manel is a pretty powerful dude, man, when he lands. So he might be able to find a finish, and that could be worth it.
Where is this Humpty Dumpty comment?
We got some donations too.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get to him. Hold on. My neighbor, I pinned the comment to screenshot it. My neighbor's like, "Oh, that must be cool. You do whatever." I was like, "Nah, it's not fucking cool."
It's not fun. I have a lot of fun. Anytime I'm streaming, anytime on this, I have a lot of fun. But very stressful for Angelo. That's for sure.
Let me take another screenshot of my misery. Okay.
Oh, nice little misery face. That's an Oscar winner right there. Somebody go back and look at his fucking misery face on that one.
Because I'm trying to look at the side of my eye and blue steel.
Get that IMDb page ready.
I'm ready. Well, I mean, I've been in several Hollywood productions. Not you. I was in the movie Sleepers. I was in the Connor documentary. We are in an upcoming movie.
We are.
Actually comes out soon.
I think it's October.
I think so as well.
I've been telling everyone about it.
Guys, WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 a month. Click Become a Member at the top. You'll unlock everything you've ever needed to have some fun, make some money watching these fights. It's also not just me and Jacob. You're going to get 3 other analysts. You're going to get the Pick Doctor, an AI picking fights. You're going to get the Artem MMA guy. Yeah, you're going to get Artem. I don't know why I said the. You're going to get Artem. Artem's breaking down.
You're going to get the mullet, baby.
UFC. And you're going to get Running Mouth. They're the newest addition to this crew. There's 3 of them in Running Mouth. So human being-wise, you have me, Jacob, Pick.
There's 3 of them.
They have a producer. They're far fancier than we are. They have a producer.
Holy shit. Oh, my God.
It is quite...
Someone said, are both y'all married? Yeah. What's so funny?
I don't know the last time you even talked to a girl in real life. But yeah, you're married.
I got some,
Tell us, what was
some
the last
videos
time
I could show you from last night, Angela.
I'd love to see them. I'd love to see them.
I
No,
texted
the
you.
only thing you sent me that could be...
I have a receipt right now.
We'd love to see it.
That is very
We'd love
telling.
to see it.
Very
We'd love
telling.
To see it. Well, go ahead, share the receipt.
Very telling.
Share the receipt. What's his name?
No, this would eliminate all doubt. If
It's 2023. There's always doubt, but I hear you.
Well,
Are you going to
yeah,
share
I
the
guess.
receipt, or are you just going to pretend you got laid once? What's happening here?
Not everyone in this world likes to fucking
Pictures?
tell.
Or it didn't happen. Anyway, we got $5 super chat from Siggy or Kiggy. Let's say Siggy. Anyway, you guys could do a 1.5 minute BJJ match for the Fight Day vlog. Siggy, it is your lucky day.
Angelo couldn't last a minute.
It's your lucky day. Jacob and I are fist fighting on, what is it, February 9th? Was that the date
What?
we established? Oh, there's receipts, and the OGs here will know what you agreed to.
Like a
Then
fight?
we have another $2 super chat saying
It
what that
Manel's
says.
dick is way bigger.
Why am I
You
reading
couldn't
that?
even read that?
I'm not trying to let that come out of my mouth.
I
Thank you
don't
for
know.
the
Those
$2
Brazilians, man. From what I've seen,
Yeah, so show the receipt.
from,
This is perfect
from
time
what
for the
I've
receipt.
seen, those
Show the
Brazilians
receipt.
got it going on, man. I tell you what, they could compete with anyone.
All right. And now I'm seeing a whole bunch of egg emojis. I'm so glad how that happened. I'm so glad.
Angelo by rear naked egg.
Next up, at UFC 293, we have another heavyweight fight. We have 2 heavyweights on the main card of a pay-per-view with a 1.5 round line where the under is juiced, which means this pay-per-view is going to end in like an hour and 35 minutes. I'm not happy about it, honestly, but
Less cuddling
These-
time for us.
these fights should be fun. Tai Tuivasa taking on Alexander Volkov. Tai Tuivasa 15-5 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, riding a 2-fight skid. Taking on Alexander Volkov, 36-10 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's riding a 2-fight stoppage streak. Alexander Volkov finding his power later in his career. Tai Tuivasa, we all love this guy. He has to be on an Australia card. He's got to be on a main card. This guy is nothing but entertainment, and he is exactly how you want a heavyweight to fight. He's a heavy-handed striker. He has good volume. He's got good kicks. He's always been fast and powerful for his size, and now he's also sharp, and he's knowing when to stay composed and when to really commit to what he's got going on. Tuivasa's got fantastic leg kicks, a piercing jab, and a big overhand. His takedown defense is just okay, right? He fights similar to Justin Tafa, just more athletic. But what are you laughing at? The comments? Shut up.
Yeah, but I giggled, and then I saw you look at me, and then you're like, what the fuck is he laughing at? Someone said, Angel just yap, 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 yap.
Anyway, I'm just boxing everybody. Fuck them. They're getting blocked. Tai Tuivasa hits hard, has good footwork, has leg kicks, knows when to pour on a pace, knows when to bring it back. I wish he had better takedown defense, though. It is only at 52%. He has been taken down by most people who have tried. His chin has always been his biggest asset. We're starting to see that fade a little bit, right? We saw it crack a few times, but he would still win those fights. The Gane fight, the kick is what did it, right? It wasn't, he didn't just take a punch to the head, whatever, but he did get rocked a few times head-wise in that fight. And then finally, we just saw Sergey Pavlovich put him out. So that is the problem with these chins. They're legendary chins, but once they start to fade a little bit, it's hard to know if they're going to come back. Taking on Alexander Volkov. This guy's a top 10 heavyweight. He's been a top 10 heavyweight for a very, very long time. Good striker, high fight IQ. He's fast. He has volume. He picks his shots really well, and he's going to adapt in fights. He's not a huge power guy, but he has been finding power later in his fights. He's durable for the most part. He's fought literally the best in the entire division for a few years now. He's coming off that win over Alexander Romanov, where Alexander was a straight-up bum in that fight. We all love Ty. We're all going to be rooting for Ty. We all want to see a Shoey. Shoey was one of the dog names I recommended to Tiffany. It's an Australian Labradoodle, so I thought it fit. Shoey made sense. She wanted nothing to do with it. I think Tai Tuivasa could have success. Anybody that hits as hard as he does can. But I think Alexander Volkov is literally the better fighter everywhere. He's the better striker. He's got better footwork. He's got more tools. He's better everywhere except straight up raw power. We've seen Volkov dominate a fight, then get knocked out late. I just don't think it's going to happen again. Volkov is the pick, and I'm actually pretty confident in him here. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, the one thing I feel like I'm pretty confident in, and I'll say this and it won't happen, but I feel confident in the fact that this is going to be over quickly. I think there's going to be a car crash early. Tai Tuivasa came in against Gane and realized that he can't hang with high-level, long, rangy strikers, right? And I know he dropped Gane. He was able to land a shot, but that was because he finally was kind of crashed in, and he landed the shot. He dropped Gane, but everything at distance, he was just getting beat up with those front kicks, with those body kicks. Guess who also is really good at those front teep kicks, at those front teep kicks and at body kicks and switching to head kicks? Volkov. So Tai Tuivasa is going to come in, I would think, and be like, listen, I can't stay at distance with this guy. I just got to make something happen. He's in front of the home fans. He's going to want to make a statement. He feels, in my mind, that his best chance is going to get in there, start a car crash, and just hope his chin holds up and he can land that big shot. And you saw Jairzinho kind of do that versus Volkov. Jairzinho kind of initiated a car crash, and Volkov stayed in the pocket. Now, he ate a shot. He was able to land a good shot on Jairzinho, but Volkov won't completely disengage. Like Gane, if you get in his face, he's going to disengage with his footwork. Volkov will stay in the pocket. So I think Tai, knowing in front of the whole fans, I can't stay at distance, guys, going to initiate a car crash, and somebody is going to get knocked out. The other big question mark here is Tai Tuivasa's last two camps. He went to Dubai to do his last two camps, completely isolated himself from friends, from family, to really focus. Didn't really work out. So he's back in Australia in front with his old coaches, with everything, with everyone around him, his friends, his family. So we might see a reignited Tai Tuivasa, and I would love to see it. My pick is going to be Volkov because Angel mentioned he is the better fighter in this matchup, and Tai's chin just hasn't held up lately. But I'm going to be rooting for Bam Bam. I think we're all going to be rooting for Bam Bam. He grew the hair out. He's looking good with a nice head of lettuce. You know, I think that Volkov's going to be too much for him. I'm going to be rooting for Tai, but I think something happens quick, fast, in a hurry either way, and that's where my money went. But I'm going Volkov, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think I'm actually going to be interested to see if you guys haven't voted. Jacob does a lock of the week. He picks an underdog every single week, and you guys can vote. You guys can vote for who your underdog is, your favorite underdog on the card is. I'm curious to see the voting. I think a lot of people are going to pick Tai. Every time Ty's an underdog, he gets like so much insane love. Him and Kai.
He's tough. France. I mean, he's one of those guys that he's going to fight for your money. I mean, even if he gets hurt, he's going to fucking bite down. He's going to fight for your money. So it's not bad.
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, and him, Tai Tuivasa and Kai Kara France, wildly different fighters, all that stuff, but they always seem to get the same love. When they're underdogs, everybody's like, they can do it. And I get it. And I love Tai Tuivasa. I think there's going to be a lot of... I'm curious to see what happens with this betting line. I wonder if people are going to see that value, see it's him, and the public will start to tighten it, or if it's going to continue to slowly spread out there. But
you know what my favorite thing about Tai is, and I'm pretty sure this is his quote. I don't mean to misquote him if it wasn't, but he was talking about the Sergey fight, and I think he said something like, the first time he hit me, I realized I was fucked. Like that, his quote was like, he was just being honest about it. Like, yeah, he hit me once. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, this is different. Like, this shit's like fucking different. That dude hits hard, man.
No, I mean, I'll be rooting for Tai. I do have that small heavyweight parlay. I got Justin Tafa and Alexander Volkov. I think they both, I mean, heavyweight fights are always a pain in the ass. Shouldn't bet them. But I do think they both win these fights. And I'm fairly confident. I think the odds are probably correct on them. So I slapped them together. I think it's plus money, I believe. Is it plus money? Let's see. I don't have it in front of me, the odds, but I think it's plus money. But certainly Tai Tuivasa can put him out. And frankly, for the entertainment value, the pay-per-view, all of that, that could be worth it. Just losing that $50, a unit for me is 100, so I'd lose $50. But like watching Australia go bananas for Tai Tuivasa could be fantastic.
I'm looking forward to see what song he comes out to. He's always got great fucking songs.
Oh, he's got phenomenal energy too. I wish they would have given him a win, right? I wish they would have been like, here's a guy you can beat. Just beat him up. Get your swagger back. Be that guy again. Because Tai Tuivasa,
I think he still wants to be a top guy. And if you want to, I don't know if there's anyone left for him to, in that division, for him to really.
Dontel Mays. Give him Dontel Mays.
That's a pretty far step down.
It's maybe, but not really. Like, he just got beat twice, stopped twice. Like, give him Dontel Mays, a hard hitting heavyweight that could kind of make something happen. We'll see what goes on there.
They should give him Jalton. He'll just fucking smoke Jalton. Curtis Blade's gonna smoke Jalton by the way, so don't worry about that. Ty's ranked 6th. He's not gonna fight any of those top guys. Volkov's right behind him, and then you got Spivak who just fought. Almeida's book. Derek Lewis, he already fought. Tybora's
not a bad.
But then that's pretty far down for him to fight. That's 11.
But what's he supposed to do? He fought everybody in front of him already. This is a step down too.
Yeah, but this is a good fight. I mean, this fight makes sense for the division. 6 and 7, or 7 and 8, or 6 and 7 going at it.
No, it does. I get for the division.
I know what you're saying. In front of the home fans, give them a more favorable matchup. That's usually what they do for the people. But
anyway, $7,400 in DraftKings. If you're on that Tai Tuivasa side, I mean, boy, is he going to be worth it because he'll probably win by stoppage, and that's really the only way he's going to win. But I am on the Volkov side. $8,800 is quite expensive, but Volkov has found his power lately. Volkov has been putting out bigger dudes, strikers, heavy guys. Romanov, I'm not going to, whatever, but, Volkov just knocked out Rosenstruck before that. That's a big heavyweight striker, and all of a sudden Alexander Volkov's the power guy. So we could see that here, especially with the cracks in Ty's chin. I may spend that $8,800 on Volkov. I'll have to dig a little deeper, see how he scored in the past and some other fights, but I'm definitely on the Volkov side here. If you want to see a detailed breakdown of all of these fights, you can get that at premium membership, all the raw notes. If you want to see specific breakdowns for who you should put in your DraftKings fantasy lineups, that's in premium membership available to you. If you want to see tools and data and analytics to make your own picks, that's there. If you want to see our bets so you can just see what you like, grab a few, that's there as well. Everything that I have mentioned and everything that I have not is available right now at WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member. It's only $10 a month, and you will unlock all of it. $5 super chat from New York Rental. Give him Parker Porter. That's kind of
that would be a very favorable matchup.
Disagree. Let's move on. Next up at UFC 293, we have the main event of the evening. We have Israel Adesanya taking on Sean Strickland. And if you remember, this fight came about because Izzy was trying to bully Dricus into this fight. And Dricus is like, I just fought. I've got a couple of random small injuries. This is a title fight. I don't want to do a quick turnaround because this is too important of a fight to do that. So Dricus is not taking this fight. And then we got Sean Strickland stepping in to fight Israel Adesanya. This is not a short notice fight. Sean had a full camp. But it feels like a short notice fight, right? It doesn't feel like Sean Strickland is the number 1 contender or the number 2 contender. But once you start looking at these middleweight rankings, see who Izzy's beaten, see who Izzy has just recently fought, see who has recently fought, Sean Strickland is actually the only guy other than Dricus that makes any sense. We just watched Roman Dolidze, who might have been the guy he just lost, to Marvin Vettori, who Izzy beat twice. Robert Whittaker just lost. It's kind of a weird division. So we got Sean Strickland, 27-5 overall, 3-2 in his last 5
What about
years.
Pardon my interruption here.
Ryan Hall, say some dumb shit. And that's exactly where you were going.
No,
Sean Strickland riding
Darren Till.
a 2-fight win streak into this title shot. Israel Adesanya, 24-2 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off that title win over Alex Pereira. We don't need to spend a ton of time telling you who Israel Adesanya is. He's accomplished everything he could accomplish at middleweight. He did lose his belt to Alex Pereira. He was winning most of that fight, got stopped in the 5th round. They did an immediate rematch, a rubber match. He came back. He lost the 1st round, got the knockout in the 2nd round. You know, that whole thing skeeves me a little bit. The whole
I was playing possum.
The narrative after the fact, and I listen.
Do you know he said that immediately to his coach in the octagon? I don't know if you know that part.
Said what? I was playing possum?
Literally right after the knockout, when the coaches are over the cage, he said, "I was playing possum. I was playing possum."
Do you believe it? And I'm not a technical.
It looked like it looked like his legs were fucked. That was like a last ditch effort of like, here we go, like I'm going down swinging, and he fucking landed it.
And good for him. And
Right.
he beat the boogeyman. Alex Pereira has beaten Israel Adesanya up until that point 3 times in combat sports. Beat him 3 times, 2 by stoppage. And Izzy showed up, got the win, and then Izzy also said, "I'm done. We don't need to do this again." The guy's 1-3. You know, we're done. We don't need. No, I'm done. But anyway, the reality is, you know, I'm making fun of that whole situation with Alex Pereira, but Israel Adesanya is a high-level striker who has perfect little tiny movements to avoid your strike and send something back. He does have power. He is incredibly technical. He is very well-timed. And the only time he's looked like a human being was when he was just big boyed by Jan Blachowicz when he went up in weight, and then when Alex Pereira also big boyed him, basically, with power. He's taking on Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland is the opposite of Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya's got tiny little slight movements in and out to avoid getting hit. Sean Strickland just keeps walking forward. He will throw as many punches as he can. He'll absorb a whole bunch at the same time. Nothing fancy. The only time we've really seen him wrestle in the last couple of years was when he fought Uriah Hall. He did work in a bunch of takedowns there. It's almost as if he was afraid to strike. He did the smart thing. He worked in the takedowns, won that fight. That is what he should do here. I don't expect him to do it here. Maybe he'll be wise enough to say, this is a title fight. This will literally change my entire life. I don't care if I'm boring for 25 minutes, but I don't think he will. He didn't do it against Pereira, and that cost him badly. I don't think he'll do it here. So then we have a striking match between the best striker in the division and a decent striker with a lot of volume, but he's not a brawler. He's just volume. If he was a brawler and made it ugly, maybe.
Like Chepe.
But he's Chepe. Maybe. So anyway, we got technical. Israel Adesanya is going to out-technical Sean Strickland. Minus 650 is a bit surprising. I actually think he should be like minus 800 or something wider than that. I mean, Sean Strickland has volume, and I don't think that's going to be an issue for somebody as technically sound as Israel Adesanya. That's my rant. What do you think?
The lock of the week for UFC 293 is Izzy Adesanya in this matchup. But I will say there is instances where he could lose his fight. But I'm telling you right now, obviously Izzy's the better fighter. He's a better striker. People are going to mention the wrestling of Sean Strickland. Oh, he's a black belt. He can wrestle. If he would have wrestled Alex, he could have won that fight. I'm not worried about the wrestling of Sean because the way that he stands, there is no way that he can shoot takedowns from that stance without being telegraphed. And Izzy has decent takedown defense already. But he just stands straight up and down when he is striking. And to level change from that position, I just don't see it. So let's take the wrestling out of it. It's going to be a striking match. What I worry about in this fight is as follows. If Izzy comes in and is like, I'm the better fighter, I can outpoint this guy, I'm just going to outpoint him, stay out of danger, worry about the DDP fight, I want a quick turnaround. By the way, hats off to Izzy for being so active, man. This dude literally fights like every 3 months. He is what you want in a champion. The guy is always active. He's already lapping the division twice already, and he's fucking 34 years old. It's crazy how active this guy is. But in staying active, to stay active, you got to stay safe. And if he comes in this fight, and let's say the first round, he does his thing, he's pointing, but Sean is the one moving forward. He's going to be the one moving forward. He might land into more volume. All of a sudden, Sean has won this first round. Now Izzy has to win 3 of the next 4 rounds. And we've seen Sean Strickland before just kind of go balls out with crazy volume, with crazy pace. I don't think he's going to overwhelm Izzy. I don't think he's going to land shots to hurt Izzy. I don't think he's going to wear down Izzy. But the optics of the judges, if they see people moving forward, and the other person backing up and backing up and backing up, these rounds could turn close, man. And if you already gave up the first round, and then all of a sudden Sean Strickland is who he is in the 4th round, in the 5th round, he's stealing these late rounds just by being the guy that is just moving forward and moving forward. I fully expect Izzy is the better fighter. He should even control those exchanges. I'm not worried about him even losing those exchanges. But there is a world with weird judges, even in front of the Australian fans. They see the guy moving forward to where he's sneaking out rounds. If I'm Izzy, I'm putting this guy away, man. I'm making a statement. Sean is a hittable guy. He can get knocked out. Izzy is good enough to knock this guy out. He shouldn't have to worry about power coming back. If you're Izzy, I want to finish this fight in the first 2 rounds. Let's make a statement against a hittable guy. This shouldn't be a close fight, but this weirdly could turn into a weird fight if Izzy just tries to point for 5 rounds. But Izzy's to play. He's way better. He should be able to dominate. Do you worry about that at all? Sean is just relentless. He's just relentless.
Yeah, he's not a guy you're going to hit twice and be done with. Obviously, that's what Austen did.
He literally hit him twice, just with a left hook and then a right hand.
That's what Austen did, but that's not common.
It shouldn't be,
I guess, right? Yeah, it should. Outside of Austen, I don't know.
But I think Izzy can do that. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
I don't think Izzy can do it the way Alex did. Alex just came in, boom, boom. I think Izzy needs to catch him. I think Izzy will catch Sean over committing to something and blast him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think Izzy's is more speed.
He's got to walk into it. Like Sean was just standing there and got knocked out. He's got to have Sean kind of walk into it a little bit. And frankly, Sean may have learned. He's at a good gym. He's around a lot of smart people. He's a lot smarter than he pretends to be. Chris Curtis, his best friend, is a very intelligent, smart, well thought out person. He's like basically his coach. Obviously, I know they have Eric there too, but he walks Sean through a lot of different stuff. He's a smart dude.
No, and Chris Curtis is like a well thought out person. Like he's very purposeful about what he's doing and why he's doing it. So if they're like, listen, I get it, Sean. You have this internet persona. You have this personality. You're starting to get some stardom here in the last couple of years because you just say whatever you want. That's all well and good. But this is a title fight, and you do what you need to do to win. I don't care how boring. You do what you need to do to win.
Yeah, it could be just clinch and hold against the cage and make the rounds close, and let's see what we can get.
Be Holly Holm. That's a good boring point. Ass. Hold you against the cage. It's a title fight. He'll never get this. He didn't deserve this chance not to be hit. He didn't really earn this chance. He may never get it again. If he wins this belt, it's immediately a rematch with pay-per-view point. It literally changes his entire life and the trajectory of his career, even if he loses it in the rematch. So I think Sean Strickland should go out there, be boring as hell. I just don't think he will. So that's why I think Izzy is absolutely as close to a lock as you're going to get. Sean Strickland has shown us he's not going to do those, make those decisions. He's not going to sacrifice who he wants to be, for something that makes sense.
Right. And one thing I will notice that I do like about their camp is talking about Izzy much like Sean was about Aljo. There wasn't a lot of trying to disparage Aljo from the Sean camp. They understood the challenge that was ahead. Right, they weren't taking anything lightly. They understood, hey, this is gonna be fucking tough, and we might not come out on top. And you're seeing the same thing come out from not so much from Sean, obviously, but at least from his camp, from Eric. They're like, listen, this is the best middleweight maybe ever, and definitely the best striker. We do have a challenge ahead of us, but we're gonna try and put together a game plan, and we're gonna go out there and we'll see what happens. So I do kind of like that. Where there's not too much bravado, like, oh, I'm just going to smoke this. Obviously, Sean said stuff like that. But I think at their core, they understand the task at hand, which is good.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's surrounded by smart people, and obviously he's not, he's doing what he needs to do for some fame and some laughs and some likes. So I'm on the Izzy side. I just, at the end of the day, there's just too wide of a talent gap. And we're also talking like, it's just so easy to take Izzy down. If Sean Strickland wants to wrestle, he'll do it. It's not that easy. It's not.
He's gonna have to He's going to have to muscle him. I don't think he's going to do it with technique. He's going to just have to out-physical him. Because that's what, all those, if you listen to all the city kickboxing people, they're like, listen, that's all anyone ever is going to try to do to us. We're some of the best strikers in the UFC. So that's all they work on. They're not stupid,
Yeah. No, I know. And I didn't want to imply, if Sean, I just meant like best effort. His best effort is not to go out here and slug it out. His best effort, his best chance is to try to be the grappler. I don't think it's going to matter. We're both on the Izzy side, but I will say $9,700 for Israel Adesanya and DraftKings Fantasy is a no-go for me. That guy scores no points whatsoever. I don't think he's going to finish Sean Strickland. There's going to be no grappling, no takedowns, no control time. So we're just relying on significant strikes and maybe a finish. He might only score 90 points. Even with a finish, he might only score 90 points. And I'm not spending $9,700 on a fighter to score 90 points. So I just don't see that being worth it for DraftKings.
I think he makes a statement. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting caught up, because somebody made a good point about Discord. It's like, that's recency bias, because how many times have we said, Izzy's gonna, and Izzy's even said it like, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that or what, and then he just turns into like Marvin Vettori is very similar to Sean Strickland, not a super dangerous guy, rip your head off, just a tough dude that's gonna move forward. Izzy should have finished that guy, didn't finish him. Sean Strickland might be the same way, but I just have this feeling that he's gonna kind of tee off on Sean and make a statement, because DDP, everyone knows DDP's watching and waiting, and he wants to.
Yeah. As a fan, the best thing that could happen here is Israel Adesanya smokes Sean Strickland, and then him versus Dricus gets the full. I'm glad Dricus turned it down, not because he's hurt and all this. We needed more time. Why would you rush that fight? That is the only middleweight
Izzy was
fight
literally
that
too
anybody
active
cares about.
for that fight. He was like, now he's like too active, because even this fight hasn't really been, and they have real beef, Sean and Izzy. And it's kind of been just kind of slid in here.
And they've had for a while. Yeah, they've had that beef for a while. So best case scenario for us as fans is Izzy smokes Sean Strickland, and then we get a good 6-7 month buildup to Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. And do it somewhere massive. Don't do it in Vegas. Do it like Cowboy Stadium or like, just a giant
against
huge
Dricus?
Venue, international
Izzy
venue.
wants to do it in South Africa.
Yeah.
He said he wants to do it in South Africa. He said, I'll beat him in front of his home country. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Izzy is badass. When it comes to that type of stuff, I know Izzy gets a lot of shit for being effeminate and all this anime stuff, and he jerks off his dog and this and that. But he's not a bitch, no pun intended. He's not a bitch. I mean, even if this turns into a brawl, it's not like Sean's going to overwhelm. Izzy will bite down, and he's not going to go out like a bitch. Like you saw that in Gaslam fight. I mean, he will go to war if it's time to go to war. So
yep. No, and then I think, the Gaslam fight's a great example. So it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens with this card. I will say there's a lot of people in the comment section, in the live chat right now talking, you're underestimating Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland's going to win this fight. I'm going to get a Bet Openly fight. I'm going to throw the Bet Openly link in the Discord. So I'm going to bet on Israel Adesanya at these odds. Actually, better than these odds. You can take the other side. What Bet Openly does is it allows you to bet other people. Meaning, I'll throw $650 on Izzy to get $100 back if he wins. If you throw money on Sean Strickland on the other side of my bet, you can take it $10 at a time, $100, whatever you want to do. You will take my actual money. My actual money you'll be taking. Not casino money, not my actual real money, because all the people insisting Sean's going to win, there's always one underdog every week that everybody pretends that they're behind, and then this way something happens. I said I'm a genius. I said that man is Sean Strickland this week. It's not going to happen. Everybody just wants their opportunity to be the genius. I'm not going to give you that opportunity. I'm going to call you out. I'm going to give you the link. Join the Discord. Discord's free. Grab the link in there. Guys, let me give you $50. We push premium a lot, but let me remind you, anybody, premium member or otherwise, we do 280,000 unique views a month on this channel. Any one of you, all of those eyes can go to wewantpicks.com/bets. Whether you love us, hate us, all the things. Use our link on that page to sign up with a sportsbook partner, and we will send you $50 as a thank you. It's affiliate marketing. They're going to pay me, and I'm going to break off a piece of that. I'm going to give it right back to you, because the reality is, if I'm making money, you should make some money. And if you're going to make some money, then I'm going to make some money. So it's all going to work out really, really well for everybody. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Use the link, sign up, make a deposit. I will send you $50. Guys, Use that.
Pedro's a
$50
favorite
to come.
now.
What?
Tyson
Oh, is
Pedro's
he?
a favorite now. Minus
It
115.
keeps yo-yoing. Yeah, it keeps yo-yoing.
Do you know how to yo-yo? Did you yo-yo as a kid?
I did, but not like
I did
fancy,
I did the professional stuff, like the walk the dog and
You
the
look like
fucking
you would.
all this stuff, and
look
I was
like you would.
you could throw it at people.
Psych. I'm a nerd. You can become a premium member at WeWantPicks.com. Just click become a member at the top. It's only $10 a month. You are going to get everything you can imagine, including courses. Go to more on the menu, click courses. The very first course we have is a DraftKings beginner's guide. The biggest theme we get every week, asking questions, or like the most consistent question we get week in and week out, are what is DraftKings Fantasy? How do I play that? How do I do that? Well, this guide is going to walk you through that. It's a full course with different individual lessons. You're going to get the line movement tracker. You're going to get detailed data, metrics, and analytics. You're going to get more than just me and Handsome Jake. You're going to get Running Mouth MMA, they're the newest edition. You're going to get Artem. You're going to get the Pick Doctor. Everybody has their own unique style. Artem's breaking down non-UFC stuff. Pick Doctor is an AI engine picking fights. These guys are a ton of fun. There's 3 of them. They all have their own betting style and their own different insight. Do all the things. Use the promo code for who's sent you. WeWantPicks.com, $10 a month. Jakey boy, you got any last words for the people?
Mexican blood fly parlay. Chepe, blood diamond. Gabriel Miranda, I've sprinkled it. That's all I'll say. I actually didn't sprinkle it. I put almost $200 on that to win $400. So I got there. Let me show the slip real quick, just so everyone, because I have been pumping.
And that's not a premium bet, right? I'm not tracking that bullshit.
That is not a premium
when it
bet.
inevitably breaks.
This is not a premium suggestion. This is just let's have some fun. I'll be at Angelo's if that's gonna focus there. 185 to win just under $4,000. Gabriel, Chepe, and blood. And those you can get better odds now because those odds have gotten a little bit wider. Chepe's plus 180 now. I had him plus 158. Gabriel things wider, and blood diamond's a little bit wider too. So
that is wild, guys. Do all the things, and we'll see you the rest of this week with fresh hot content. That was such a dumb way to end this. So